Sargents weren't in the collection. The Sargents are owned by Lord Cumley. They're still there. There's one of them in particular I used to go and look at regularly. I've got a book called Houghton Revisited. I'll bring it and show you. It's got all the paintings in, because I mean they just every great painter in the sort of Middle Ages is represented in the
Whenever I go to a new city, I go to the art gallery. So I'm a big art fan. My sister's was a talent star. I'm horrible. I can't do a thing. But I understand composition and I really enjoy it. Right. And galleries replace a real solace for me.
Yeah.
It's a really lovely place to spend time.
I felt humbled really, because I wasn't capable of appreciating all the quality of it, but it was just astonishing. It was just astonishing. And they changed the lighting in every room back to how it would have been. So they used
That sweep down again from Roderick. You pick the gap between Lewis Gregory first slip and Josh Davey is at a backward point, and right between them. That's raced away twice and played that shot.
Some things are built over time, not just in moments, but in choices. It's how we live, day in and day out, and the way we show up for each other. Trust in those who dedicate themselves to others. Inclusiveness in those who bring people together to make a difference. Kindness in those who lift others up, even without words. Resilience in those who turn challenges into something greater. We're more than a club, because the greatest teams aren't just on the field. They're in the heart of a county, in the people who give, inspire, and lead. One.
Once upon a time, I went on a magical adventure where I travelled through time, explored great buildings, and made lots of new friends. There are forests, rivers, and ice cream. My story was one of excitement and wonder. And what happens next? Well, that's your chapter. Make Worcestershire part of your story.
Jacob, thank you for joining us. Big week, no underestimations there. Takeaways from Sunday for you guys. What are the key things you guys have taken away from defeat at Leicestershire?
Yeah, it was a tough one. Obviously, probably never quite got the runs on the board on that wicket on that ground. I guess a couple of games in a row we potentially lost a few too many wickets in the power play. It's tough on 2020. Like, if you want to go hard, it's all about risk and reward. So. I guess it's about that top order, figuring out the balance around that, how that looks. I know we've got it in us. Obviously, we've played a couple sort of almost perfect games during the campaign, so we've got it in us. It's just about putting consistency on the board.
Is that's the message, I guess, is the balance of the positive intent. There's a lot of talk about the language that's been used around the group. We've spoken to Kadir Ali, Gareth Roderick, who've said the same thing, that the positive intent has to be balanced maybe with a little bit of smart cricket. Is that the missing ingredient at the minute, just that balance?
I guess so, mate. You don't want to put a cap on anyone. I guess in 2020, you want guys to come out there, and if they see the ball in the area, you can't have any of that doubt in your head, I guess. We talk about clarity a lot, ball and bat. Like, you can't go out there sort of half, certain in your mind of what the right player is. So there's a little bit of that. I guess the great thing is the long campaign. We're not even halfway, and like I said, we put a couple really good performances on the board with a couple of stinkers. So I'm hoping over time that sort of evens out.
And that, you mentioned it there, the schedule, the campaign, it is pretty unrelenting. You go from back-to-back games and days, a couple of days off, you're on the road, you're back home. how much are you looking forward to getting back at home and hopefully writing 2 runs tomorrow evening?
Yeah, it's awesome, mate. That's part of the reason I was so excited to come here. Obviously, everyone talks about the schedule and how demanding it is, and chucking a 4-day there too. Like, it's pretty cool what we're doing. So, the lads love playing at Worcester. We've had some awesome crowds and some good support. I think we are better suited playing here. We know what to expect. I'm assuming we're playing on the same wicket again too. So, no, I think we'll be right up for it tomorrow.
Now, there's no secret with the difficulties with the batting check order. However, for the bowling group and for you guys, it's been a pretty good year, all told. Really, we were just talking with Ryan about Fateh and how useful he's been in the middle overs for yourself. Ben Dwarsh's, the other bowlers, Tom Taylor at the top. It's actually been quite a good year for you guys so far. So, are you looking to harness and just continue that positivity?
Yeah, mate. I think we're a very steady sort of unit. I think we sort of know what we're getting. Fats has been unbelievable through the first 6 games. I think for a guy that hasn't played much cricket at all, he's come in and done seriously good jobs through the middle. And I know Tom Hindley's come in through the middle too and done a few good overs. And me and Dorsch will do our thing. And Tommy's had a good start too in his 3 or 4 games he's played. So I do think we've got pretty consistent sort of performance there. And it's just runs on the board is key, I think.
And how have you found it personally coming over here? Obviously, pedigree #1 ranked T20 bowler as well coming here. But things seem to have been going pretty well for you. How has it felt? How have you found things in Borderland?
Yeah, not too bad. There's obviously certain differences you get from conditions-wise, but slower wickets, so a little bit of adjustment there. But it's been good fun, mate. Like, such a cool group to be part of. Really enjoying the cricket. Just a few more wins and we'll have a real good time.
Now, looking ahead to tomorrow evening, Durham, currently 2nd in the North Group, going pretty well. 4 from 6 for them so far. Has there been any focus on them, or has it just been about what's in this group and just keeping to your guys' plans and making sure you guys are focusing on what you do, doing those things well?
I'll be honest, with the short turnarounds, there hasn't been a lot of time. I guess today's the day where you sort of start doing the digging. For me personally, that's where I watch my footage and sort of start looking into the guys. Been a big part of it for me. I guess I'm coming over here with a lot of unknown players that I've never come across before, so I'm having to dig a bit deeper than I normally would at home, where I come across guys who play regularly. So it's quite a fun aspect of it. You're scouting and stuff. So we'll do that today, and then obviously tomorrow we catch up as a collective bowlers before the game. So tight turnarounds, man. There's not a lot of time. I know Billy's doing a great job with the scouting and everything too. So it's all part of the good fun.
And just to finish, one of the focuses, I guess, fellow Kiwi, Jimmy Neesham, more than likely to be playing for Durham tomorrow. You've got experience playing with and against Jimmy? Yeah, so I played a lot with him in Otago and against him for plays for Wellington, Auckland back home. So, that'll be good fun. And obviously, they've got Zach Folks too, who play with a lot with New Zealand and against for Canterbury. So, a couple of bloody good 2020 cricketers there. So, will be a good challenge, be good fun.
This is Mike the Plasterer. He needs a trusted supplier for his materials and tools. Mike needs Profile Store. With an easy-to-use website, you can check stock online, order it and collect it within the hour. Profile Store offer free delivery over £125 and fast overnight shipping. With over 2,000 products in stock, they're sure to have what you need. So get yourself down to the trade counter in Kidderminster today. Get the job done with profilestore.co.uk.
To visit Worcestershire New Road for the latest instalment of the Vitality Blast. It's Worcestershire versus Durham this evening, and it feels like it's going to be an important one for the Rapids. My name's Jim Dale, alongside me Frank Watson, and I suppose the headlines for this evening, Frank, is that we have a notable change to the Worcestershire team sheet, don't we?
We do. We have a debutant, don't we? Not just a debutant in T20, but a debutant for the county, Isaac Mohammed, who joined from the Warwickshire Academy just a couple of weeks ago. So only 17 years old. In the runs yesterday in the second team up at Southport, and called down here to play in this game. He comes in at the top of the order to replace Ed Pollock, and there's one other change for Worcestershire as well, and that sees Kashif Ali returning to the side, Tom Hindley, the man dropping out.
Well, that's a couple of changes there, really, essentially, to the batting lineup. Good to see Kashif back. He split the webbing between his fingers against Nottingham Outlaws just over a week ago, so extra firepower at the top of the order. As you mentioned, Frank, Ed Pollock had a difficult start to the Blast campaign, and actually in the past couple of matches we've seen the batting lineup fail really to post an intimidating score. So when you're 17, is it just a case that there'll be no fear there?
Well, I dare say there'll be a bit of nerves, whether that is the same as fear or not, I'm not quite sure, but Isaac Mohammed, definitely a highly rated young player. I know Warwickshire disappointed to lose him, but he felt that he would get more opportunity down here at New Road. He's a nephew of Moeen and Kadir, the Worcestershire assistant coach. I know he's highly rated. I know he is regarded as a player that will be able to play all formats. He gets his opportunity in the shortest format, his first opportunity. But if he makes a go of it and he fits into the first team scene, then who knows what the future might hold for him. He could well find himself in with a chance of getting a place in the Red Bull side, I would imagine.
Well, a talented youngster, there's no doubt about it, and we'll get our first proper look at him in the first team this evening. To the full team news then, the Worcestershire Rapids. So Isaac Mohammed is slated to go in number 1 alongside Jake Libby. Then Kashif Ali, Adam Hose, who's of course captain again this evening with the absence of Brett D'Oliveira, Ethan Brooks, Gareth Roderick, Ben Dwarshus, Matt Waite, Tom Taylor, Fateh Singh and Jacob Duffy. Well, the visitors, Durham, Alex Lees is back again as captain, Graham Clark, Colin Ackerman, experienced cricketer, Ollie Robinson will have the gloves, Ben Rain, Jimmy Neesham, Will Rhodes, Zach Folks, Matthew Potts, Nathan Souter and Callan Parkinson. Well, the Rapids will be looking to avoid 3 straight defeats after a couple of tricky outings last time round. On the other hand, Frank, Durham in really good form and up to second in the table. In fact, they've done something that no other team has managed to do this season, and that's beat Northants Steelbacks. Yeah, absolutely. A powerful side, Durham, as we know. They haven't got a good record in white ball cricket on this ground, which, whether that means anything or not, I don't know. I tend to, refer to stats like that. And does it really matter what happened 20 years ago, 15 years ago on this ground? I don't think so. They're a good side in good form. Worcestershire are a side yet to find its way really in this competition this year. I think they started reasonably well, lost the first one narrowly, won the next one, lost one, won one. A couple of times, particularly at Trent Bridge, I thought they looked as though they'd got things sorted out, but a couple of injuries have disrupted things. They've got change of captain, and so it's, as I say, one team that has kind of come to terms with its game, shall we say, this season in Durham, who have found a way to play and are going about it very well, and one that has yet to really get it sorted out, I think, from a Worcestershire point of view. They maybe thought they had after a couple of games, but as I say, a loss of captain, few injuries have changed that. 2 umpires are on their way out there. Richard Illingworth, who's had a long journey from his home about 3 miles away to come to do this one. The world's #1 umpire, and alongside him, first time I think I've seen her in a game at New Road, it's Sue Redfern. It's his first game in the men's game, yes. And Alex Lees, Graham Clark on their way out. Bright yellow shirts. And the bright sunshine as well, Frank. We've got a lovely evening for it. Yeah, it is absolutely superb, isn't it? And the last time we were here for an evening game, or afternoon/evening game, it got quite dark, didn't it, towards the end of the Lancashire game? I don't think that's going to happen tonight. The weather is set fair. It couldn't be better, really, could it? As yet, the ground is far from full, but people arriving all the time, and it really is a splendid sight. Well, it's a 5:30 start, of course. Visit Worcestershire New Road, don't have floodlights, so regardless of the context, it is a slightly earlier start than some of the games that go on in the T20 Blast. So people piling in after school, after work. We're going to see the first over from the Diglis end, and it's going to be Tom Taylor. And his first ball is clipped away on the onside for a single by Graham Clark. Taylor, who started and finished most of the games for the Rapids in the Blast last year. He did really well at the beginning, struggled a little bit at the death. Death bowling was a problem for Worcestershire last year in this competition. Didn't play in the first couple, of course, Taylor, so he's not
taken the first over in many of the T20 games this year. He did in the last couple, I think. Nice easy approach, balls, and this one is pushed out on the offside by Alex Lees for a very well judged single, because just hit with enough lack of pace, if that makes sense, not to reach mid-off comfortably, but to enough pace to beat the bowler in his follow through. So he immediately called his partner Graham Clark through, and it was a good run. So they've scored a single off each delivery so far. This next one is driven, this time hard enough to the fielder at mid-off, Ben Cautious, to mean that they can't get a run. Glorious sight as we look across the ground. Cathedral in the distance, bathed in sunshine. It really is bright and very, very warm. Taylor again is in, and Clark chips this one uppishly to mid-on, where it's fielded by Jacob Duffy, tall Kiwi, who will probably bowl the second over. It could be Ben Dorsius, the left arm seamer. Worcestershire leaving out a spinner tonight, Tom Hinley, in favour of an extra batter, really, with Kashif coming back into the side following his injury. Good shot from Clark, but picks out Fateh Singh at extra cover. Nice bit of fielding. Good start for Taylor. You know what we're going to say? Can he get out of the over? One ball left. Durham batters be keen to find a boundary if they possibly can off this last ball. But they can't. Well bowled from Taylor. Clark just defends that last one. So an excellent start for Tom Taylor, and just 2 runs coming from the first over. 1 each to Graham Clark and Alex Lees.
Yes, very watchful from this pair. Opening up for Durham. In good form, and as you suspected, Frank, we're going to see Jake Duffy from the new road end. He's bowled well this competition. You feel the decision there to chase this evening. We've seen a couple of times, Frank, that the Rapids batting first. Felt they might be trying to be a little bit too aggressive first up. Knowing what to chase and knowing what the rate is might help this batting lineup. In comes Duffy then. Alex Lees, left-hander on the strike. And driven down the ground, but again, Hose is there. So another dot ball.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think, well, that's our take on it, isn't it, Jim? We have suggested it to a couple of players in interviews and to coaching stuff as well, that maybe they've been a little bit too full on, a little bit too aggressive.
Ball this time, and that's going to beat Tom Taylor. There's a chase on, but it's won the ball or win. That's the first boundary of this evening.
And I think it's been interesting watching T20 games around the country this season. That been a lot of players going big right from the start, not just in the power play, all the way through, trying to clear the ropes, trying to get up to a big score, and possibly falling short if they don't manage it if they play with a little bit more circumspection, particularly in the middle overs, where 8-9 is a good scoring rate. I think if you have a good power play, and then between overs 7-8 through to 15-16, if you're scoring at 8 or 9 and over, not necessarily hitting sixes left, right and centre puts you in a good place to attack in the last few overs. But if you go too hard too early, you can find yourselves in trouble.
In comes Duffy again then. Fuller this time. Lovely drive through the offside. Beautiful cricket shot. So a couple of boundaries interrupted by a wide. And Alex Lees is into his stride here. It's an interesting comparison actually, Frank. We've seen Jake Libby come back into the Worcestershire side. Not noted for his T20 prowess, but Alex Lees, we've seen him every year, haven't we, for Durham, opening the batting, and their records are actually almost identical. Both averaging mid to late 20s, both having a strike rate just north of 120s. There is room in the game for that sort of batter. Duffy in again, Fuller this time, and hoses in.
Yeah, I agree. It's interesting, isn't it? Lee's the sort of play you associate with red ball crease occupation, really, and Jake Libby the same. I was watching Dom Sibley on the television last night playing for Surrey, and there's another one who's proved that he can play T20 cricket very effectively as well.
Oh, I thought it was a typo. I nearly fell off my chair, Frank. It was what, 70 from 46 balls.
Beautifully, didn't he?
2 sixes. Duffy to Lees again. Bumper.
But you know, going back to my it's wide chord.
That's another late call, isn't it?
Going back to my previous point, 2 sixes, but only 2 sixes, Sibley. You know, one of those was very early on, but proving that you can score quickly without clearing the ropes. It's finding that middle way, isn't it? That is so key to a team consistently making good scores in T20 cricket.
Full ball just squirted away off the outside edge. And means Isak Mohammed will do the fielding.
A 17-year-old academy player coming into the game at this level, fielding is possibly one area that is going to be tested, I think. Have to learn quickly. Just got to be on it, haven't you? Good over this for Durham.
Last ball of the second then. Brings Clark on strike. And works into the leg side. I think that hurried him. Quick ball from Duffy. But he deflects it into the leg side. And the familiar face of Ethan Brooks doing the boundary riding. And that'll complete a very profitable over from Durham. 12 from it. A couple of extras, a couple of lovely drives as well. One through extra cover from Alex Lees. Reminiscent of a couple of, we saw some beautiful cover drives, didn't we, from Sean Masood on Sunday.
Yeah, I was just talking about it before the game, actually. Shots that, as we said in T20 commentary, wouldn't have looked out of place in a test match. Taylor starts his second over. Another dot. A slightly uncertain shot from Graham Clark. But all that pressure that Taylor built up in that first over undone really by the second over. 12 coming from it. That said, 14 off the first two is satisfactory for both teams, I would think, given that Durham haven't lost that early wicket. They'll be really fairly happy with that, and Worcestershire, well, 7 off each over in the power play is not a disaster, but wickets in the power play is so important. 4 runs here. It's Graham Clark just opens up, clears his front leg a little bit and smashes it wide of mid-on, slightly over-pitched from Taylor. Good shot from Clark.
Well, we've seen on this surface, Frank, haven't we, that if you get it in the right areas, there's reward for you. But modern T20, the margin for error is small, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
Slightly over-pitched and just forced away.
Better from Taylor, just holds this one back a little bit. Clark perhaps suggesting with his gesture to his partner Lees that it just stopped in the pitch a little bit, that one, as he just dropped it down in front of him. So good response from Taylor, but a solid start by these two. Lees in particular looking in good nick. Big strong man, broad shoulders. Clark the slighter of the two. This one definitely slower from Taylor, and Clark not deceived. He waited for it, steered it deliberately down to short third, but straight to Matthew Waite, and unable to get through for a single. So a good response from Taylor. I think conceded that boundary. Just a little bit of breeze in our effects mic. Glorious sight. Oh, Taylor, that's a real good one from Taylor. Probably the best ball of the evening. Genuine play and a miss from Graham Clark. Sue Redfern, the umpire, just having a look at Taylor's follow through his front foot where it landed. Maybe getting close to the line, but well, last ball, key. 4 off the over only so far. We're hoping to avoid going to the ropes with this last one. And he does, because again Clark is slightly uncertain as he plays that one out on the offside. Again, a suggestion that maybe it just stopped in the surface a little bit, but well bowled from Tom Taylor, who's conceded just 6 runs from his 2 overs. 3 gone, 18 without loss, and the left arm of Ben Dorcius replacing Jacob Duffy at the New Road end.
Yeah, really good comeback, wasn't it, from Tom Taylor after being hit for 4. 5 dot balls in an over. And it is to be Dorcius. Bit of a difficult time of things for the Upton Steel County ground on Sunday. Bowls well here though. On his way in from the New Road end. Left-hander to left-hander. Plenty of positivity in the field. The Rapids players, I think they'll know this one's important. Need to get back to winning ways this evening with the Bears round the corner. Dorcius in again. There's good running, good decisive running from these two. Know each other's game inside out, of course. Spent a lot of time batting together. But a tidy start as well from Dorcius. Just felt at times he was bowling a little bit too short on Sunday on what was a very good surface. That's pulled away. There's plenty of space out there. It's going to go for 4. Didn't get all of it, but he got enough.
Yeah, it was a pretty dismissive shot, wasn't it, from Graham Clark. Dorcius banging it in, but not quite enough pace on it. If it had been a little bit straighter as well, he might have been pulling it round to Ethan Brooks, who's placed on the rope on the leg side, but he's very square, and that one was more over mid-wicket.
It's better length that time from Dorcius. Yeah, in that situation, just had to clear.
Yeah, better line as well, I think, really, to make it more difficult, that one. But yeah, once he cleared mid-wicket, that was it, wasn't it? Yeah. Good shot. They've both been pretty positive.
It's full of ball. Genuine miscue there. I'll take a single though. Just find Dorcius is more dangerous when he pitches that ball up.
One ball left in the over, just the one boundary. I suspect a change of pace, maybe. He likes to mix it up, Dorcius.
Well, it's been a feature of his second stint here, hasn't it? First time round as a younger player. Relied a lot on his stock delivery. In he comes then. Short, he just swiveled on that. Does Lees. Means another single. 7 off the over.
It's interesting, isn't it? 25 off 4. We've seen a lot of games, both here and including Worcestershire's away games and other counties that I've seen this season. I've seen a lot of bigger scores in power plays, or bigger scores in the first 4 overs, a lot bigger scores than this. But I think this is quite a decent start in the sense that they haven't lost a wicket and they've got a reasonable sort of momentum going. You don't have to get 60 off the power play. It helps, but you don't have to.
Good change of pace there.
Duffy has replaced Taylor at the Tiglis end. Starts with a much slower delivery than his usual. Capable of high pace, Duffy, as he's shown in red ball cricket. But like Dorcius, mixes. Well, you've got to, haven't you? You've got to mix it up these days. I think if you're going to play T20 cricket and bowl effectively. Wide this time. Four. Enough width there. Short, outside the off stump, cut away past Isaac in the covers. Good shot from Graham Clark. One thing I think they have done, these two, is put the bad ball away when it's come along. There haven't been a huge number of boundaries, but every time they've got one that really has deserved to go, it has gone. And that's 4 more. That's a really nicely played shot by Graham Clark. It looks like an edge, but in fact, there's no slip. He's given himself a bit of room, and he's played it pretty deliberately down to third man. It's a lovely shot, actually.
Yeah, really.
In many ways, as good as the one before. Equally as effective. Graham Clark moves to 19 of 17. Nice start now. Could easily get to 50 without loss, and that's a very good power play, I think. Oh, well, they won't get to 50 without loss because Duffy's got the perfect Yorker in. Absolutely nailed that Yorker. And Graham Clark loses his leg stump. So the first wicket down. And I think it's fair to say that Worcestershire needed that quite badly.
Well, at the risk of losing the trust of everybody, Frank, I was going to actually comment after that delivery that the thing about setting a platform like this and being relatively watchful, not going great guns. These players have both got good techniques, of course. Is that it's really good if you do go on and build that platform, but if you go at 6 and over, 6.5 and over,
and then
maybe 7s, and then get out, and the power play is eaten up, that's the risk, of course.
Yeah, you don't want 2 new men in at the end of the power play, but it's only 1 wicket. And I won't mention it too many times tonight, but the man who just walked to the crease has scored a double 100 in white ball cricket on this ground in his Kent days, Ollie Robinson. So he will have fond memories of the ground. I doubt he'll get a double 100 tonight, but he is quite an explosive batter. I thought Graham Clark played well. Probably the first proper mistake he's made, but it's been the end of him. Robinson drives. Very, very good shot and a very, very good piece of fielding by Isaac Mohammed on debut in the covers. And he gets a couple of congratulatory low 5s from his colleagues. Good diving stop.
Yeah, make him feel good about getting in the game, won't it? A few good pieces of fielding on debut before you have bat in hand. Just makes you feel like you're in the game.
Robinson is off the mark.
He's back in the game again. Well, obviously trust him where they put him to field. So following those 2 boundaries, Frank, a vital breakthrough, as you suggest.
Yeah, 11 off the over, however. So a decent haul. And it's 36 for 1 with 1 over to go in the power play. I was suggesting that it might be 50 by the end of the power play, and it still might be. If it's 40 odd, then probably you'd say Worcestershire have slightly had the better of it. If they get another wicket, you'd say they've certainly had the better of it, but not much in it at the moment, I don't think. Still got a slip in.
Dwarshus back in from the new road end. Full ball, and that's beating the edge. Pacey. Robinson looking for an expansive drive. He likes bat on ball. Super talent.
And they've got that slip in. He's wide, isn't he? That slip, probably more like a third slip. Adam Hose, the captain. Maybe they just fancy that Robinson might try and run it down there off Dwarshus.
Dwarshus in again. Edged and gone.
What a piece of captaincy that is.
Well, the slip in place. Ball moved across Robinson. He's nicked off. And it's a wicket for Dwarshus. So 2 wickets in 4 balls, and Worcestershire are pulling this back.
Can I claim an assist?
An assist for Frank Watson. You can have it, sir.
Good bit of captaincy by Adam Hose. Sometimes it comes off, sometimes it doesn't. He's gone in there very deliberately at about 3rd, 4th slip, and Ollie Robinson has driven at the one going across him.
And look, he didn't have to move, Frank, did he? And there's good captaincy and there's good captaincy. Putting a slip in, yes, but putting a slip in and not having to move a muscle to take the catch.
Yeah. So good stuff from Ben Dwarshus and Adam Hose. Robinson is gone. Colin Ackerman is the new man.
And all of a sudden, that solid, if not spectacular start now feels like it's very much Worcestershire's power play. 4 balls to go, of course. Ackerman, experienced campaigner. He's done special things with bat and ball in this competition. In comes Dwarshus. It's a fullish ball. And Ackerman offers a full blade.
Of course, the other thing is it's the best way to slow the scoring rate down, isn't it? Get a wicket or 2. Lee's still there, of course. But suddenly a power play that looked like it might be 50 without loss just 5 minutes ago. Slightly derailed.
It's a short ball. It's 1 for the over. It's a good bumper though. Another dot ball.
Not too high, that's the other thing, isn't it? So he's not been wided.
And that's the thing in this format. Is that a good 7 or 8 deliveries can really change momentum. Cloughed in the air, is going to evade the man at mid-on. I think it's Tom Taylor who's got to run round it. No, it's Duffy, excuse me. Looking to hurry Ackerman. But the ball finds the turf rather than the hands of Jake Duffy. Last ball of the power play then, 37 for 2. Dwarshus steaming in. Full ball into the onside, another dot ball, a cracking over, just 1 run from it, but more importantly, the wicket of Ollie Robinson. And as you say, Frank, he's got fond memories of this place.
Yeah, good over, very good over from Dwarshus, just the 1 coming from it. So the power play overs, 2, 12, 4, 7, 11 and just the 1, 37 for 2, and that's definitely the home side's power play. Long way to go, of course. Lovely view of the cathedral across the ground, standing proudly as it has for so long, and looking down over this perfect scene here at New Road tonight. Forget the floods. On a day like this, on a night like this, there are a few finer sights, and it's Matthew Waite coming into the attack to bowl the first over after the power play from the Diglis end. Single to Ackerman. Having discussed the cathedral, I'll just throw in for the first time tonight, the only time tonight, but mainly for Durham listeners, because Worcestershire listeners and viewers will have heard it before, but it's called the Diglis end, Diglis, and most of the land and property at that end of Worcester, the city, the south side, the north side is the south side, is called Diglis. So Diglis Weir, Diglis Lock, Diglis Hotel, Diglis Basin, where the canal joins the River Severn, and the history of the word Diglis is quite interesting. It's a lovely shot from Lees, but almost a caught and bowled by Waite. Good effort, hit it well. Waite got his hands down to it, but couldn't hold on to it.
It's one of those situations where you feel, as a batter and a bowler, you're both unlucky there, isn't it, really?
Yes, indeed, yeah, absolutely. Probably settle for that, really, because it would have gone all the way if he hadn't had a hand on it. Anyway, back to my word, Diglis. It's from the French, d'église, D''E', d'église, of the church. Slower ball from Waite. It's happened again, is it?
Yeah, I think so.
Unbelievable. 2 caught and bowls in succession. This time slower, stopped on him a little bit, and Lees just chipped it rather than drove it. And Waite unable to hold on to it again. So yeah, d'église, of the church, all of the land at that part of the city, including this very ground, which was purchased from the Dean and Chapter of the Cathedral by the county clubs. Supporters Association, I think, paid for it in the 70s. Waite bowls, Yorker, dug out by Lees. Well bowled from Matthew Waite. Unlucky then, I suppose you could say. They both considered themselves unlucky on the first occasion when it would have gone to the boundary. On the second occasion, Waite could consider himself the unlucky one. Always hard to hold on to one and you follow through, I think.
Well, one of those when it's above your waist height as well as you follow through and you stick an arm out. They either stick or they don't they?
Well, I'll take your word for it, because it's rarely happened to me, that chip.
What? As a batter with the gloves on, it's hard. Yeah. Oh no, I never dropped a caught and bowled, Frank. Never create chances, that's the trouble.
Caught one on the beach. There's Waite again. Nicely bowled again, very full length, and Ackerman just steers it up to mid-on for a single. Alex Lees, 14 off 14. 15 off 15 now, as he nudges that on the leg side for a single, but a good over from Matthew Waite, just the 4 runs coming from it, 7 gone.
Well, yeah, 4 singles in that over, and that's what the scorecard will say, but it was rather more interesting than that, wasn't it, really? Well, we're going to see our first look at spin bowling this evening. Fateh Singh, over 7 or over 8 is often his. Usually bowls from the Diglis end, but he's going to come on New Road end here. And it'll be left-hander to left-hander. Lee's on strike. Down the wicket he comes first ball. Just works that into the leg side. Confident footwork. Big man as well. But, Singh can fire them in. So getting to the pitch of the ball, you've got to get a bit of a wriggle on. Lee's managed that though. So his runner ball knock continues. Three out in the deep on the leg side. Square leg, deep mid wicket. long on as well. Instead, he drills down the ground the other way to long off. So another single. And Rapids will be okay with that for now, I think. Only 2 down, Durham, but that run rate just shy of 6. And looking to pull that away. But only finds the pad, so it'll be another single. Looking to capitalise on a short delivery there, Lees. But it's a miscue. Slower ball this time. Again down the ground, so it'll be another single. Full toss this time. Dispatched to the boundary. Just waited for it. Clipped away. Really classy shot, that. 2 men out in the deep that could do nothing about it.
Shame for Singh, because he bowled well first 4, and that one really uncharacteristically very loose.
And drilled down the ground, flat batted, but Brooks covers the ground really well. Great bit of fielding, and well acknowledged by this crowd that's starting to fill up here at Visit Worcestershire New Road. A lot of people taking cover in the shaded parts of the ground. It is very warm this evening.
Yeah, 9 off the over, which, as I say, he'll be disappointed with, because he's basically bowled 5 pretty good deliveries in that over. And if he'd have gone for 1 a ball, he would have been more than happy. But just eased the pressure with that full toss.
Well,
credit to Lees, didn't miss out.
We haven't seen Ethan Brooks for a little while, have we? With the ball. He's going to come on here from the Diglis end. It's a firm drive down the ground. And Tom Taylor's fumbled that on the boundary. So what should have been 1 is 4. And that's deflating for a bowler, isn't it?
Yeah, first ball is very annoying, isn't it? Unusual for Tom Taylor, to be fair. Very unusual.
Well, he got himself in a good position to do the fielding. He was on the move. This time, the drive down the ground is fielded clean. And it means it will be a single. And Duffy down there doing the work. Slower ball, cut away, brings Dwarshus into the action. Again down the ground, pace off from Ethan Brooks. Look for a second, take on Tom Taylor's arm. They're going to get it as well.
Great running, great running. He said 2 as soon as he hit it, at least. That was really good cricket.
I think it's only the second 2 we've
It's
seen
not the
as
biggest
well.
ground. It was a very, very good bit of cricket from this pair. As soon as he hit it, he said 2, and it was never in doubt.
It's really good work from Roderick. Genuine play and miss, great glove work. Lee's comfortably back in his crease. Pulled away in the air, Dwarshus is there, should take the catch and does. So an over that started with a misfield and a boundary ends in a wicket. And Ethan Brooks has got a big smile on his face. It's the 3rd wicket down. Durham 58 for 3. Rapids going well.
Yeah, Alex Lee's very, very annoyed with himself. And well, he might be, because he's played so well, but when he's there 28 off 23, he is, as you were suggesting about 10 minutes ago, Jim, he's got to a position where he's used up the power play, he's used up a fair number of deliveries, and he now needs to go on and in a way, well, that dismissal is a bit like we've seen from a lot of the top order of the Worcestershire batters in this competition this year, and well, it's obvious to say they could have done without it, but just at the point where you would have expected Lees to be looking to capitalise on having got himself in, he rather tamely chips one in the air and is comfortably caught by Dorsius.
Well, it's another example of the differing paces of Ethan Brooks. That was quick to him. This is pushed up by Fateh Singh for a single. Brings new man Will Rhodes on strike. Good safe catch from Ben Dwarshus. Good in the field. In fact, this whole Worcestershire side, good fielding side, which is why that Tom Taylor fumble was such a surprise. And another full ball. Met by the blade of Will Rhodes, worked down the ground for a single. And it'll be more of the same. Worcestershire doing a good job here of just keeping a lid on things. Singing again. Again, down the ground. Again, just the single though. Handsome shot for just the one. I might go and have a little sit down, Frank. I don't need to. I'm going to shock you here. That's gone to long off. That's a single. It's almost every delivery that Fateh Singh has bowled, I think. With the exception of the boundary and one off the pads. Everything's gone down the ground for a single. This might well be two, though. A lot of work to be done. As I think it's Hose runs right. This isn't Hose, forgive me. And it will be two to break that cycle of singles. Two completely over. And we're at the halfway stage here, Frank. 65 for 3. And Worcestershire will be happy with the start to their evening, I think.
Yeah, I think 65 at the halfway stage. Be probably Worcestershire the happier of the two sides. We've seen plenty of cricket here, and thinking 160, 180, 170, some 170 maybe about par. Anything over that I think takes some getting. Brooks again. Cut this time, good shot. Dorsius' long striding run, but he isn't going to cut it off. Past Fateh Singh at backward point and away to the boundary. Proper shot from Colin Ackerman, given a bit of room, made sure he found the gap. Nothing too extravagant, highly experienced, dangerous player. Found the boundary. Beaten this time though by a good change of pace. That's what it's all about for Brooks. If you haven't seen him before, if you're watching and you're watching from a Durham perspective, Brooks, his model in T20 cricket is probably Ravi Bopara, I think, in terms of his bowling and his batting maybe. Bowls this one and is tucked away on the onside for a single by Ackerman. You can get in touch, by the way, if you'd like to. Twitter or X is the best way, at Frank Watson 58 or at James F Dale, D-A-L-E, if you'd like to get in touch, whether you're from Worcestershire, Durham or in between. And always happy to hear from you. Keep it clean. as I always say, 70 for 3. Brooks, oh, good delivery, a little bit of extra from Brooks this time, just hit the deck a bit harder, bounced quite sharply, hit Will Rhodes on the thigh. Mixing it up well, Ethan Brooks, 2 balls left, 5 off the over so far. He will be desperate not to go to the boundary for these 2. Not that one, clipped away on the onside, just a single, as Dorset is quickly in, 1 bounce throw back to the keeper. 1 ball left.
Very leg side, but there was so little pace on it, little cutter, but there wasn't much to be done with it.
Another single, sorry, another little cutter, but nicely controlled. Ackerman keeps it down, keeps the strike, but Worcestershire be happy enough to concede 7s at this stage. 72 for 3 at the end of the over, and Ethan Brooks going quite nicely at the moment. 2 overs, no maidens, 1 for 15.
Looks like we're going to see Tom Taylor from the new road end, but before we get into his new spell, I've not been keeping score officially, but by my reckoning, I think we've only seen 2 aerial shots all evening. One was clubbed away for 4 over Fateh Singh's head, and the other was Lee's clothing it to Dwarshus for a wicket. I don't think I've ever seen just 2 aerial shots in the first 11 overs of a T20. We've just got a nice wave from Bryony Gilgrass from the Women's Rapids. Talented youngster in action at the weekend. Taylor then into Ackerman.
Oh, there you go.
Scoot up into the air. Well, there we go. There's number 3, and it's gone all the way for 6. And we've just seen a young lad who's seen it go for 6, and he's sprinting to get the ball. He was like lightning. But it was
I'm blaming you for that one.
I take responsibility. There's an assist as well, Frank.
Top was it? Wow, just
helped it on its way, didn't he? But he got
massive,
so much of it.
Massive. Yep. Box of spares being taken out.
It has gone over the marquee, the hospitality marquee.
Hit a car, probably. Bounced into the King's School playing fields.
The good news, it's most likely one of the players' cars on that side.
Just repeat those Twitter handles, at James F. Dale, James F. for Francis Dale, and at Frank Watson 58. They've got it back. It'll be inspected for damage. So at James F. Dale, at Frank Watson 58 if you want to get in touch. Be interested to see what Durham supporters make of this. They've seen their team throughout the competition. A steady power play, 37 for 2. And steady since, but signs with Ackerman striking the first ball of this, the 12th over for 6, that they're going to press on.
So what's Taylor's response? Cuts him in half. I'll scamper through for a single, and it will be off the pad, so leg by it is. And the young lad who scampered away to try and find the ball, he did the job. Ball boy isn't a thing in cricket, but if it worked, sign him up. That's what I say. I've not moved that fast for a good couple of decades. Taylor then on his way into Rhodes. Rhodes looking for a ramp, and he's got it as well. Really elegant shot, clever shot, timed beautifully. 2 men behind square, in the deep, no chance of cutting that off. 4 more to the total.
A couple of messages on Twitter. Ian Parron says, not just Durham visitors to the stream. I expect with you having a 5:30 start, you get more neutral viewers than any other county, at least for the first hour. That might be true. Never considered that before, Ian. Thanks for that.
They might want to stay as well. Who knows?
Mike Andrews says, don't know if there's anything you can do about it, but the chat on the live stream is bombarded with Indians betting every game. I don't care about the live stream, to be honest, Mike.
Wow. That's been absolutely smoked. 6 more, and the return of Tom Taylor is an expensive one. The second 6 of the over.
Just what they wanted at this point. 2 experienced players at the crease, not going to be fazed by a few overs where they don't find the boundary, always aware that things can change very quickly, and they have changed very, very quickly. 17 off this over so far, and still 2 balls to go. Just what you need, a big over, just to change the momentum. Pace off from Taylor, that's clever. Needed to. Still a big over, 1 more ball. So you've had overs, only 2 overs in the power play were in double figures. 1 for 12, 1 for 11. But since the power play, 4, 9, 8, 7, 7. Good from Worcestershire. Suddenly, this over. 18 so far. Still a ball to go.
In comes Tom Taylor, then Ackerman waits. Slower one this time, a chance, and he's gone.
Wow, well that's really, that's changed it. Well done, Tom Taylor, unfazed by the hammering he got earlier in the over. And that's an important wicket, because the momentum I was talking about, Jim, has just been disturbed. As we said earlier, best way to stop momentum building is to take wickets. However, it brings one of your heroes to the crease.
I love Jimmy Neesham. I love Jimmy Neesham. Good energy, talented batter, talented bowler. Really likeable guy. He's done the rounds in county cricket, but he's never played here, Frank. Maybe one day. Essex and Derbyshire and Kent, Northants. Leicestershire as well. Now Durham. And he's a lot of them about actually in the Durham side. Right-handed bowler, left-handed bat. In comes Brooks again. Again, it's a cutter down the ground for a single. Neesham then, first ball, in comes Brooks. Again, it's a slower ball, dropped into the leg side. Easy single there. So 92 for 4 the score. And a flurry of boundaries in the previous over, but important wicket in there as well as again, pace off from Brooks, and Dwarshus does the fielding. So a single apiece off the first 3 deliveries of this one.
Interesting, Matthew White only bowled the 1 over, which went for only 4.
And again, no pace for Neesham to work with. And it's a dot ball. Well, he does have options, doesn't he? He's bowled pretty well in the past few games, Matt Waite, since he's come back into the side. Hasn't quite found his way with the bat just yet. Again, soft hands dropped into the leg side. Fatty single come in from the boundary. And it'll be another single. So just 4 singles from the over thus far. Rhodes is on strike.
This is a really big delivery, isn't it? Daft as it sounds.
Well, if they keep a little nit here, it just quells the momentum from the previous over. swivels on this, and it does find Fateh Singh, and it'll just be a single. So 5 from it. Good over that. And we're going to see Matt Waite, I think.
There you go. Called it.
Calling it's generous, Frank, but I get your vibe.
Yeah, calling it is generous. I think you've got to keep changing things around when. Well, that certainly seems to be the thinking. You rarely see a bowler always fall straight through, do you, these days in T20 cricket? And there might be a case for a bowler bowling straight through if wickets are falling and there are new batters there all the time. But it is Matthew Waite.
Yeah, it's rare that bowlers rather, bowl through. They get lined up easily, don't they?
Start from Waite, full on the pads. Dangerous Rhodes now, he's on 19. That was a leg bite. But 19 off 11, he's found the boundary with a big one, he's played the ramp, he's got his eye in. Good to get him off strike, really, from Waite's point of view. Crucial, this next 3-4 overs, I reckon. Can Worcestershire keep a lid on it? Can Durham get to a point where after 15, 16 they're ready to launch? He's done more fielding of his own bowling than anybody, Matthew Waite.
I think actually he's got a hand to that. If he doesn't get a hand to it, I think it might be a single.
Yeah, it's a shame, isn't it, from his point of view. Good running though.
Rhodes on 19, another batter to get a start. None of them have yet to go on.
Another single. That won't hurt Worcestershire too much. Having praised the sort of approach that isn't too manic in the middle overs. Earlier on when I was discussing tactics generally, I still think you've got to be getting 7, 8, 9 maybe, a boundary, one boundary. It's just the manic attempting to clear the ropes that I think is not necessarily called for. Good from Waite here, full one, gets through Rhodes. But 6s and 7s probably favouring the fielding side at the moment. But you know, if you're only 4 down, you can get 50 off the last 3 or 4, can't you? We'll see Duffy and Dorsus come back at the end, I would imagine, with their changes of pace, variations of length. Tennis shot from Rhodes here, but only going to get a single. Quite clever from Waite, actually, I thought. Did you, Jim? Banging that one in?
Yeah.
Don't necessarily expect that from him.
Batsman went early and he tested the middle of the pitch. It does bring up the 100. But again, it's just 5 from 5 deliveries. We're in that spot again where anything other than a boundary is a good over for Worcestershire. Durham will be looking to find the rope if they can. He's looking for a little scoop there. There's a chance for a catch and gone.
Straight to his hands. Giving it away, really. Kashif takes the catch. Matthew Waite gets the wicket. The 100 came up in the 14th, but it's also brought the 5th wicket.
Well, it's straight to a fielder again. It's a bit of catching practice. And Ben Raines on his way out.
Well, Ben Rain has enjoyed a lot of success against Worcestershire over the years with bat and ball. A very, very good all-round cricketer.
He's one of two bowlers actually to get a fiver for Durham this season, Frank.
In the T20.
In the T20, yeah.
Oh, he's a tremendous cricketer, isn't he? And has already performed well on this ground with the red ball in his hand this season. And made runs, I think. I'll just check. I think I've got the... Oh no, didn't make runs, I beg your pardon.
Ethan Brooks to continue. Welcome dot ball again, pace off.
But he did take 6 for 36 in the championship game here across the match a few weeks ago. Very different tonight, of course. Good from Brooks again. He's going to bowl a full spell here, Brooks. He's gone for only 26 a couple of times so far in this competition. So far he's gone for 20. 4 balls still to bowl. This one a little bit shorter. Hammered down the ground for 4. Cross-batted sort of pull, but straight down the ground. So the lack of place working against Brooks there, because if you drop it that short, batsman's got lots of time.
Yeah, it just sat up, didn't it? It's a good whack. 2 out on the boundary in the deep straight. Beats them both, though. 104 for 5. Worcestershire able, though, just to take regular wickets, aren't they? Not rests on these two shoulders. Out in the middle.
6. Shame. Just going so well. And 10 off 2 suddenly dents the figures and gets the momentum back in Durham's favour. It was Neesham, I beg your pardon. Did I say Rhodes was out? I think I did, didn't I? Apologies.
Well, Rhodes is tucked in there. It was leg side. He just helped it on its way. Had to beat the man in the ring, which he did. And he'll pick up another single as well. So 2 boundaries in the over. 11 from it. 1 ball left to go. Good over from Durham's perspective. Ben Rain to face the first ball. And he'll take a single and keep the strike. So 12 from the over, an expensive end to Ethan Brooks' spell. He's gone for 32 in his 4 overs, but he has taken a wicket. 112 for 5 the score.
I think you'd probably settle for 4 overs, no mains, 1 for 32 from Ethan Brooks. Having said that, perhaps you wouldn't if he'd only gone for 20 off the first 3, but he's not played a bad hand for his captain there. 112 for 5, 30 deliveries remaining. You're looking at probably 160, aren't you? You'd be looking for minimum if you were Durham, and Worcestershire be hoping they can keep them below that. If they get 170, 175, somebody is going to have to strike it pretty well. Dorsh's first ball. Rain punches away on the leg side for a single. So Dorsh's so far 2 overs for just 8 runs before this one. So he's going to bowl 16 and 18 probably. And then Duffy has also got 2. Will probably bowl 17 and 19, which would leave Taylor to bowl the last one, which he did last year, but it might be that Duffy bowls the last one. This one's going to be 4 runs, short of a length, wide of the off stump, and Will Rhodes, who's now become, whether he likes it or not, the absolute key man, I think, out there. He's cracked that one away for 4. He's 31 off 19. 35 now off 20. Hadn't gone on the board, so 35 off 20. And if anybody's going to get a 50, 60, it's going to be him, isn't he? Slower ball from Dorset, nicely bowled, tucked away by Rhodes on the leg side. Fancied 2, but only ever going to be 1 as Isaac came in off the boundary at deep backward square. It's just a case of whether Worcestershire can keep a lid on it now. Just a case of whether they can restrict the boundary hitting in this last 4.5 overs. This one's gone high in the air. Isaac is running around at backward square leg. It doesn't carry. He fields it on the bounce. They take 2. Good bowling from Dorset. It's a little bit quicker than Rain expected. Just on him, cramped him as he went for the hook shot. Couldn't get his arms away. Got a little bit cramped up for room and top edged it, but
manages to split both the fielders out there, doesn't he?
Didn't hit it too well. If he'd have hit it better, he might well have been caught. Waits again now, Dorset. Over the wicket from the New Road end. Good pace. Through him. Very full. Holds his head in his hands, the bowler. But it's a dot. So, 8 off the over so far. This one doesn't go to the ropes at this stage. A good over for the home side. From the Durham point of view, very much hoping they can find a boundary. And they don't. Clever bit of bowling. Very good change of pace from Dorset. Slower ball, beat the swinging Rain. And at the end of that over, just 8 runs coming from it, which at that stage, in the 16th over, is good from a Worcestershire point of view. 120 for 5. What you do see occasionally in one of these late overs, and I think we've seen it a couple of times this season, if bowler maybe bowls a couple of dots early on, then gets a wicket, then you get a new man in and you can get an over in the last 3 or 4 that only goes for 1 or 2. Absolute gold for the fielding side.
Well, will be Dorset and Duffy to finish up, but not before we get an over of Matty Waite. And he comes from the Diglis end. Rhodes on the charge, cut away. That's beaten the man in the ring. There's a hard chase for the man on the boundary. Diving stop is unsuccessful. Libby can't stop it, so it's a 4 first up. Will Rhodes is on to 40, doing a good job for his side here. He's cut the ball well, hasn't he? Strong through the offside. Seen a lot of proper cricket shots from Will Rhodes. But he's striking at almost 200 here.
Yeah.
And they needed someone to go on, didn't they, Durham? And he's doing a job here. Can Matt Waite respond? Let's follow this time. I think that was an edge onto pad.
Well, that was the we were wondering who was going to bowl that extra over, weren't we, in the last 4. It turns out that it will be Waite. Duffy with 2 left, so it'll be Duffy next, I would have thought. Waite bowls 17, Duffy bowls 18 and 20. Dorset's probably bowl 19. Be ringing the changes. Good from
Full
Waite.
and straight, and it'll just be a leg bite. Despite the full flourish of the bat there from Rain. And that's something that's a feature of Matt Waite's game, isn't it? He's a good Yorker bowler. He does favour bowling full at the end, but will dig in if he sees the batsman on the move. Again,
Back of the hand, that one, I think.
Full ball, drilled down the ground, just a single.
Yeah, I mean, the margin for error is so small, isn't it? Because weight is hittable pace, no question about that. Whereas Duffy and Dwarshus, they change their pace a lot, but they're that bit sharper. But weight's got to be clever.
Rain deep in his crease, another full ball.
Good Yorker again.
And they might get 2 here.
Great running.
And they will. And it
Great
just
running.
dropped into that empty space. It was a bit beyond weight. And it meant Brooks had to come steaming in from the boundary. Last ball of the 17th. In comes Matt Waite. Again, slower ball, full, and dragged into the leg side. It would just be a single. So a tidy over in the end after the first ball went for 4.
10 off it. I suppose that's not too bad at this stage.
When the first ball goes for 4, you take 6 off the next 5, I think.
And it is going to be Duffy. A couple of contacts on Twitter. Jack Sutton says, Durham fan, game could go either way. It's weird seeing Dwarshus in different colours this season after his successful spell with Durham. Yeah, I absolutely understand that. It's the nature of it, isn't it, in this T20 competition. I don't like seeing Mitchell Santner play for anybody else, but the strangest one of all is seeing Samit Patel playing for anybody but Notts, isn't it? Here's Duffy, round the wicket. Cut by Rain. Brooks is quick. They'll only get one, I think. Indeed they do. And Stephen Mann says, what's with the Worcestershire bowling over the last few games? It felt like the first couple of matches had gone well. Brooks got hit in 2 matches. Taylor came back and we've been more imbalanced. Possibly too many bowlers. Possibly, or possibly just T20 cricket, Stephen. Some days are good, some days are bad. Some days it's one guy, some days it's another. I don't think there are many Jimmy Andersons around who can do it every time. And maybe he won't continue to do that. Duffy round the wicket. This one worked away off his pads by Rhodes. I'll get 2 more. It's strange seeing Jimmy Anderson bowling in T20, isn't it? Whether it was here the other day or on the TV. He got a wicket here the other day, caught at slip, which was just like a test match. But seeing Jimmy Anderson pick wickets up, caught on the square leg boundary or caught at deep mid wicket, as I have done on TV a few times, seems very, very strange indeed. But such is the bowler's lot. I don't think they've got too many options. I just think it's you think on the hoof as the captain. You try things. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. Slower from Duffy. Swivelling pull shot down to fine leg. They get 2, but it's actually a pretty good piece of fielding down there.
I think it's Kashif.
Oh yeah, Kashif. He slipped as he picked it up and lost his footing, but they didn't get a boundary. That's the key. So 5 off the first 3 in this over. But if it's not going to the ropes, then Worcestershire will be happy. 2 left after this. I reckon we're looking at 165, 170, which is about par, actually, here at New Road. Duffy round the wicket. Goes for the scoop. Does Rhodes. And gets something on it. Just a bottom corner, really, down to Kashif. Single.
Yeah, I think a score like that should make for a good game. Yeah, just on team selection, there are changes that you make just because the form dictates it. And then, you know, there's a lot of analysis that goes into your opponents as well. What best suits. Pete's been on. He wants to know who do I prefer, Jimmy Neesham or Shikhar Dhawan? That's my other cricket crush. The answer is Shikhar Dhawan. The moustache and the Bhangra dancing, it's not even close. Sorry, Jimmy. That's going to be a wide. An uncharacteristic hush across the ground, Frank.
Yeah, I think everybody realises quite a crucial little spell this next few overs. Short and pulled away, but only a single again. So actually, a pretty good over from Duffy. In that, although it produced
9 off it.
9, you know, didn't go to the boundary, and probably at this stage is set for that, I think, as a Worcestershire captain. If Adam Hose is considering what the target might be, I think he'd settle for that.
Well,
but they are only 5 down, so if you're a Durham supporter, you might be thinking, well, you know, we've only got 12 balls left and we're only 5 down. Is this the time that we should be trying to, smack it over the ropes? But maybe the answer to that is that it's not as easy as you might think on this pitch. The odd one has just stopped a little bit. Not a bad surface, but we generally think at New Road in recent seasons 170 about par.
Matt Waite to continue then. In he comes. Again, full. That's down the leg side. It's going to be a wide.
That's an interesting decision to continue with Waite, because both Duffy and Dwarshuis have 1 left. And there'll only be 1 to bowl after this, so one of Duffy or Dwarshuis is not going to bowl his full complement. And I think that is interesting. I doubt they'll go with Taylor for the last over, given that his 3rd was pretty expensive.
Wait to Rhodes, who's draw that into the offside. Think about throwing the stumps down, think better of it, and they'll take the dot ball. Greeted with applause. Yeah, Tom Taylor, we've seen the earlier in the innings that he bowls, the more effective he is, really. Matt Waite, the most consistent, I think, with the Yorkers in this rapid side. Waite in again, full and straight, clipped off his toes. So it'll be a single. Good fielding though by Fateh Singh. Really improved that element of his game. He wasn't bad to start with, but both in the ring and out in the deep, you can see the development, even from the start of the season. In comes Matt Waite again then. Rain on strike, looking for a little ramp. He scooped it, and Singh could be in the game here, and he'll take a catch. Rain looking to be inventive. The decision to stick with Matt Waite has paid off. And Durham are 6 down.
Yeah, the thing about the scoop, the ramp, it's easier to play off the quicker bowler, isn't it? And Waite just a little bit, well, in fact quite a little bit slower than Duffy and Dwarshuis generally. Been consistent with the bat this season in this competition.
In comes Waite then. And bump ball.
Dots are gold though, aren't they, at this stage?
And it is a dot, and it's the pressure of being the new batter as well. And this lad can bat. He'll be in the side as a hit-the-deck medium-fast bowler. Also a Kiwi. Talented young lad from Christchurch. Ben Stokes is part of the world. In comes Waite again. And that's through him. Another dot ball. And as you say, Frank, that wicket trying to start swinging from ball 1 is tricky on this surface. 5 balls in to the 19th over. 2 runs coming off it. The wide and a dot and a single, sorry. And Will Rhodes is still there on 49 not out. He'll be itching to get back on strike. Worcestershire will be perfectly happy with a single at this point. In comes Waite. It's skewed into leg side, and I suspect that's what's going to happen. Yep. So Will Rhodes is stuck on the non-striker's end on 49. The Rapids will be fine with that, and it's been a fine over from Matthew Waite. Just 3 runs from it for the wicket of Ben Rain.
It's almost the over I was trying to describe, if you remember, at the end of the last over. I said that if you can get a wicket, get a new man in, and he takes a while to get in. The first part of the over hasn't produced, you then get the wicket. The second part of the over, it turns out to be a really good over. So Dorsius will bowl the last over, which means Duffy won't bowl out, and it means that Rhodes maximum can face 5 more deliveries. And if you look down the card, it's a bit like a Worcestershire card, isn't it?
I was going to say the same earlier on, yeah.
19, 28, 21, 20. You need somebody going on to something big. Rhodes might well get past 50, but it's not going to be massive. It's a good shot from Fowkes. But good fielding by Hose.
3 goes at it, but he got the job done.
And he keeps them to 2. Diving, the captain sliding, evaded his grasp on the boundary. He dived again, pulled it back, fumbled it, and then managed to get it in. They only got 2, that's the main thing. Good bit of bowling from Dorsius, pace off first ball. This time just a single, well bowled, but quicker. So the bowling figures for Worcestershire, the bowlers that have completed: Taylor 3 overs, no maidens, 23 for 1. Duffy 3 overs, no maidens, 32 for 1. The wickets spread around. Matthew Waite, what about this? 4 overs, no maidens, 2 for 20 from Waite in 4 spells, 3 spells. Good effort. Singh 2 overs, no maidens, no wicket for 15. Brooks 4 overs, no maidens, 1 for 32. Dorsius bowling the last over. 4 balls left in the innings. Slower ball, pulled away by Rhodes for 4. That's his 50. 50 off 31 deliveries for Will Rhodes. Good effort.
Yeah, I think that's a cracking knock, Frank. If you think about the context of the game, actually, he needed to stay in, but stay aggressive. Everything pretty much along the deck. Cut the ball well, picked length well. Lots of proper cricket shots, but he's got a good lick
a few times, yeah, but he's scored at a good rate, isn't he? Yeah. That's well bowled, though. But it's well played, too, by Rhodes. He's got a Yorker.
That's
he's
astonishing.
Got 4. What a great shot that is. It's a almost perfectly executed Yorker from Dorsius. And Rhodes has just jammed his bat down on it. And he's got a boundary. It's squirted away down to long leg. 2 fielders converging on it. Isaac Mohammed diving, unable to hold on to it. Successive boundaries.
I mean, it's an astonishing piece of timing, wasn't it?
11 off 4. What will Dorsius's response be? Can he keep them under 160? Full toss. And it works. Just a single. Brooks Fields. So 1 ball left. 154 for 6, Durham. Going to be just under par, I reckon, Jim, but not far. It will be a very important power play for Worcestershire, I would suspect, especially with the new youngster at the top of the order. Assuming that he does open the batting, Isaac. Last ball. Hits Neesham, hits Fowkes, got the Kiwis mixed up on the pad. Leg by, end of the innings, end of the over. 155 for 6 is the Durham total. Indebted in no small part to Will Rhodes, who finishes unbeaten on 58. Fowkes unbeaten on 4. And Dorsius's figures, the ones that we have to complete, he finishes with figures of 4 overs, No Maidens 1 for 28. A good effort from him, a good effort from Worcestershire in the field. My assessment is that Durham is slightly under par, but only slightly. Don't get the idea, Durham fans, if you're watching and listening, that that's a terrible score, because at New Road, don't see many scores around about 200. We do see a lot around about 170, 175. So it's game on here. Hope you've enjoyed our coverage. We'll be back after the break between innings. Meantime, remember, you can get in touch with us on Twitter, or X as it used to be called. Particularly keen to hear from you if you're of a Durham persuasion. I am at Frank Watson 58 and my colleague is at James F. Dale.
Reverse sweep down again from Roderick. Can you pick the gap between Lewis Gregory at first slip and Josh Davies at a backward point and right between them? That's raceway. Twice he played that shot.
Some things are built over time, not just in moments, but in choices. It's how we live, day in and day out, and the way we show up for each other. Trust in those who dedicate themselves to others. Inclusiveness in those who bring people together to make a difference. Kindness
I went on a magical adventure where I travelled through time, explored great buildings, and made lots of new friends. There are forests, rivers, and ice cream. My story was one of excitement and wonder. And what happens next? Well, that's your chapter. Make Worcestershire part of your story.
Well, welcome back to Visit Worcestershire New Road. The players are back out, umpires in position. Sue Redfern and Richard Illingworth ready to get things back underway. And welcome to the Worcestershire Rapids live feed. I'm Jim Dale, alongside me Frank Watson. And we do feel that this is slightly under par, but when you've got the likes of Potts and Ben Rain, both of whom have got fifers in this competition, talented young Kiwi and Zach Fowlks as well, who's going to open the bowling against another youngster, Isak Mohammed on strike, left-hander in his first game for the first team. It's a 4-ball, he's jammed the bat down on that and he's underway straight away. They might think about 2 here and they'll get it as well. And it's met with a warm round of applause, Frank.
Yeah, nice start for Mohammed. I mean, talk about in at the deep end. 17 years old, played a few T20s in the second team, playing for the second team up at Southport yesterday. Got runs there, got 80 odd I think, and called away, but this is a very different kettle of fish now.
And a flashing blade this time. And he's out wide of that.
He's out there with an experienced head in Jake Libby, who will probably keep him calm, and I think that's the key. He's obviously got to play shots in the power play, but I've seen him playing a couple of T20s in second team cricket. He's quite capable of playing shots, but at the same time just wants to be reasonably selective, I would say, early on.
On the move there, he's jammed the bat down, but that's going to go away for 4.
I reckon that he's played no shot, dead ball, yeah, and that's why he didn't run, I think. Hit him on the foot full. It was a bit quick actually, and took him by surprise. Hit him on the foot. He didn't play a shot. He wasn't taking evasive action. Consequently, good call from umpire Sue Redfern. Unusual sight that in a T20. Very unusual.
Well, a dot ball it'll be. And we'll go again. Here comes, folks. Again, good pace, and it's beaten the bat again. Another expansive drive offered by young Isak Mohammed.
Not a problem, is it? 3 balls to go. Just, you know, if he gets a 1, gets a couple, 4 or 5 off first over, no problem. Don't panic. Don't feel you've got to find the boundary.
High back cliff there. Not dissimilar to Kashif, he waits. And again, it's beat the outside edge. Good spell of bowling this from the talented young Kiwi. Only 23 years old, but he's already got international honours to his name. 10 T20 internationals he's played. And 1 one-day international too. So he's a young man who comes with pedigree. 1 ball left of the first over. Round the wicket he comes, on the run here, looking again for a very expansive drive. He doesn't make contact, and it means that the over will finish out with 5 dot balls, just 2 from it. As you say, Frank, to have Jake Libby the other end, who's seen it all before, just to keep him calm.
Yeah, keep him calm, and you know, the biggest worry about that over from my point of view was not that we only got 2 runs from it. He only got 2 runs from it. The biggest worry from my point of view was that he didn't make contact with the ball. You know, that at the end of that first over he's got the bat on 1, I think.
Sharp. Right on his toes there, wasn't it?
And that might be what Jake Libby said to him. I don't know, but you know, just feel the ball on the bat. You've just got to get. You can't get yourself in if you're swishing outside the off stump all the time. Get a bat on it, pick a 1 or 2 up, and just try and ease yourself in like that. I can perfectly understand why the young man at the end of the first over is thinking, I've got to get my feet moving and get into this last ball because we need a boundary. But doesn't work like that. He'll know that. But it's a big. He'll be nervous as well. It's a big night for him. Got that one away all right. And it goes all the way. It's a sort of sliced drive, fast hands, top edge really, but it landed about 15 yards inside the rope at backward point. And Callum Parkinson running around the boundary from wide third man, unable to get on the end of it. He'll feel better after that. First boundary of the innings. But two good bowlers to face on debut as well, let's be honest. And, oh, he's got lucky here. He doesn't lack confidence, does he?
No, he doesn't. It's just a little bit frenetic at the moment.
Yeah, gone for the ramp. And if he'd have got it, we'd all have been saying amazing shot. As it is, he very nearly caught behind, but Ollie Robinson just unable to get there. And Jake Libby's gone down, had a little word with him and said, look, you just got a boundary already. No need to do anything heroic.
It's Matt Potts here. He's played 10 test matches for England. He knows what he's doing.
Well, that's massive. That is massive from the young man. Over mid-wicket for 6. There you go. What do we know?
How are your nerves, young man?
Got the bat on that one all right. In the groove, in the slot, and fast hands through it. He is not particularly nervous, I would say. That's a smashing shot. 13 without loss.
Well, that's
10 off the over for him, 11 altogether. Suddenly the first over doesn't look too bad. Relax.
Extraordinary shot that is. As if he's been playing the game for 20 years. Goodness me. In the slot and dispatched.
And I think he's got away with it again here, you know. He sliced it over third man. Parkinson's inside the circle and he's got 4 more. Matty Potts stands with his hand on his chin at the end of his follow through, and well he might. Given a bit of room this time. And just threw his hands at it, top edged it again, over third man, 1 bounce, 2 bounces over the rope. So the first over is forgotten. 15 have come from this one. 1 ball left. Do not give it away off this ball, is what the Worcestershire head coach will be thinking, I would imagine. Well, he's got 4 more. Not quite sure how. I'll have to watch a replay to describe that, I think. Looking for the ramp. It's gone actually on the offside. So it's an extraordinary over which produces 19 runs. I haven't seen a replay, but it looked to me as though he was trying to ramp it on the leg side, and he's got inside it, and it's ended up going on the offside. But I will reserve judgment until I've seen it again. But well, anyway, not a bad over.
I don't think this lad's going to be boring, is he, Frank?
Well, he doesn't look like it, does it? 17 years old. He's just taken 18 off 5 balls from a test bowler. Extraordinary. 21 off 2.
Right.
Isaac has 20. Boring old Jake Libby. 1 off 1.
In come folks again. It's into the covers, but it's not hit with any real conviction. So it means that Nathan Souter can do the fielding. We'll see him in a little bit. Talented Aussie leg spinner. In comes folks again. Good pace this. Just played back down the wicket. But with Isak going plenty the other end, Libby won't mind that at all. We've seen in recent batting displays from Worcestershire their desperate attempt to get somewhere near 200 that's meant they felt well short. I feel like 155 is well within their remit. Here comes folks again. It's a good ball.
Goodness me. He's not a huge shouldered man, folks, but it's all rhythm, isn't it? Gets proper pace.
Well,
that one that went for 4 when Isaac didn't play a shot, that was really quite a sharp delivery, I reckon. I haven't got a speed gun on it, but
he's a slight man as well, isn't he? So it's all body mechanics rather than brute force.
Yeah. Perfect rhythm. Very, very good. Lovely approach.
And the arm speed as well, isn't it? And they'll take a single. I think that's come off pad. Yep, confirmed by Sue Redfern. So, folks, then 10 overs, 10 deliveries, sorry, that he's bowled. And a single and a leg bye, I think. 2 singles, leg bye. Very economical. Bowled at a good lick. But Isaac is back on strike, and we're going to see a shot a ball. Deeper in the crease, looking for it.
Gone.
Edged and gone. Oh, he shelled it. It looked like Robinson had control of it, but...
Get back in. He caught it, landed.
Looked like it jarred out, didn't it?
He's not in control, and it has jarred out. It was edged quite well wide of him. Just watching a replay now. Good delivery. Big diving catch.
He'll be disappointed.
Just fell as he hit the ground. Yeah.
But, I mean, delivering that wide of the crease, but the pronounced movement there. And Robinson will be disappointed. He's better than that. It's a life for Isaac Mohammed. In comes folks again. And he's absolutely crunched that. Over extra cover, 6 runs. And I've not quite seen anything like this, Frank. And what a way to finish an over.
Well, he's hardly got a bat on it, to be fair, off Fouts, to be in all fairness. When he did, he got a nick, and he was put down by the keeper, and he's followed that up by hitting the next ball over extra cover for 6. If that doesn't tell you that he's got something special in terms of temperament, then I don't know what does. I mean, that for me was the most extraordinary thing of all, really. To hit the next ball for 6 when you've really been struggling against a bowler and you've actually nicked one and virtually been out. Extraordinary.
But to stand there and whack it over extra cover as well. Yeah. Goodness me. Jimmy Neesham into the attack.
Yeah. Tremendous. Tremendous. It's quite exciting from a Worcestershire point of view, I think. They pick up a 17-year-old that nobody outside of Warwickshire, Birmingham really had heard of. Nephew of Moeen Ali and Kadir Ali in the academy at Warwickshire. Decided, obviously plays with Kadir for Smethwick in the Birmingham League, and they've obviously had discussions, and he's been told that he will get more opportunity here, and he's made the choice to come here, much to Warwickshire's disappointment, I'm sure. And he has. They've rewarded him with the opportunity almost straight away. Jake Libby is struggling at the other end, to be fair.
It's another play and miss, and we've seen plenty of those as well, in amongst the extraordinary, the slightly less organised. Rob Doverston's been on. In regard to Isaac Mohammed, he says he's keen. As well he might be. What an introduction to the Rapids first team this has been. I can't stop smiling. It's been absolutely daft. But as you say, Frank, Jake Libby struggling to find his feet here. He's got bat on ball here, though. And they'll look for a couple and they'll get it. Well, classic Libby shot that through the offside on his toes.
Cricket, as they say, Jim, is a funny old game. Stephen Rhodes always called it mother cricket and said mother cricket will always have her way. So you might get 100 one day, you might get a first ball of the next, or whatever it might be. Well, funny old game or not, Isaac Mohammed, having walked out of Warwickshire's academy a month ago, is going to walk out at Edgbaston on Friday night in front of a full house to open the batting for Worcestershire, I would imagine. And he might well be able to offer that as evidence that the promise of more opportunity here at New Road as compared to what he would have been faced with at Edgbaston has been delivered.
Well, I'm pretty sure.
He's not going to get dropped after this, I wouldn't have thought.
Knowing the Hollies as we do, Frank, on a Friday night after a few beers, I'm sure they'll be very friendly and welcoming to him, won't they?
To be fair, I think, they will, to some extent, regard him as one of their own, really. I think, to be fair, we shall see. He's on strike again. That's cleverly bowled. But it is a wide. Cleverly bowled in terms of a change of pace. Neesham, who is a imaginative, inventive bowler, as we know, and he didn't look entirely happy.
Well, he's moving across his stumps a little bit, Frank. I think Neesham was appealing to the fact that he was trying to follow the batter.
But the world's greatest umpire was unfazed, as he's rarely fazed by anything when he's umpiring. Richard Ellingworth, from what my experience, so calm. Oh,
wow!
Well, that's gone all the way as well from Neesham into the New Road stand. This boy is winning some friends tonight. Isaac Mohammed on debut. He has gone to 32 off 14 deliveries.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Without loss. And we got 2 off the first over.
He's absolutely smoked that, Frank. It's unstoppable.
Neesham again. Down the leg side this time, and a wide called again as Isaac tried to swing that one away over the leg side. So good start for the pairs, 38 without loss. The target, remember, is 156 for victory. They've left out for the first time in this competition this year Ed Pollock at the top of the order, replaced him with this 17-year-old Isaac Mohammed, also a left-hander, and so far it looks a decent move. He's had a bit of luck, and he's lost his poles to Neesham, trying to ramp that one, but Neesham bowling the Yorker, and you can't ramp a Yorker. Absolutely spot on, middle stump, and he's gone. He'll get a good hand. He's played well, but the first wicket is down, and it's a good strike from Jimmy Neesham, unfazed by having been hit down the ground.
Well, look, Jimmy Neesham, he's played 12 test matches, 76 one-day internationals, 83 T20 internationals, and he got absolutely walloped by this 17-year-old. Neesham's a cracking cricketer, though, and he got his revenge with a great full delivery. But Isaac Mohammed, how was that for an introduction? And the applause that ring round Visit Worcestershire New Road. Well, what an astonishing start to his career.
32 off 15 deliveries with 3 4s and 3 6s. He was fortunate to get away with being put down by wicketkeeper Ollie Robinson, diving away to his left. Difficult chance, got 2 hands to it, caught it, and then spilled it when he hit the ground. But he's gone now, and after 4 overs, Worcestershire are 39 for 1.
Libby into the offside again. Not timed. There's no run there. And Folks doing a good job here for his side. Quiet at the Diglis end. And look, it was a little bit hectic at times. He did lose his shape a couple of times. He was fortunate to have been dropped, but particularly the 6 hitting we've seen, Frank. There is something special there, isn't there? There's a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
A lot of nurturing to do as well, I think.
Yeah.
There's Folks again, and that's beaten the bat, and it's a
good
continuing theme, isn't it?
Well, isn't he? He's moved it around in the air. He's kept it full for the most part. And he's 0 for 8. He's bowled 14 deliveries. That's pretty good, isn't it?
Well, interestingly as well, he's used the pop and crease well. He's bowling from different positions, trying to change the angle of delivery. And as you say, Frank, he's bowling quick here, and Libby's not got an answer just yet. But that's a nice shot. Will he beat the man at extra cover? He will, and that's going to go for 4. Longest part of the ground, but it's vintage Jake Libby, and you're right, Frank, he did need that, didn't he, just to get him going. 4 from 11 deliveries first up. That's going to make him feel a little bit better.
Yeah, I don't think he really timed it, did he? But it found the gap, that's the main thing. And he's still there. And they've only lost 1 so far. 1 over after this in the power play.
It was a little bit fuller, which meant he could get on the front foot. In comes Folks again.
Good again. Good bowling.
Yeah, he looks promising, doesn't he?
But going back to Isaac, yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Lots of talent. Clearly a great temperament. Not the finished article, but big step forward tonight. Big step forward.
Well, it's the best start we've had in this competition, Frank. Looking for a little ramp here, and he's going to get 4 for it. He's wrong-footed the fielder out there. I think it's Ben Rain. Not sure Libby got it quite where he intended. But trying to manufacture something here. That's 2 boundaries in the over. Oh, no, he has. He's played that really well.
Really well. Outside off stump, yeah. Full and outside off stump.
I've
Nothing
done him a
wrong with the
disservice.
delivery.
Yeah.
Really clever batting. Good. Two boundaries off the over. No need for any more heroics.
Well, that impetus that we've seen from the youngster on debut means they're ahead of the rate.
Changing the field. Man dropping out on the leg side, third man coming in. Suggests he's going to go straighter.
In comes Folks then, again looking to preempt. Again, he's beaten the bat, and it'll be another dot ball. So a couple of good strikes from Libby. Get him feeling a little bit better about life. Plenty of dot balls in there as well. 47 for 1 after 5 overs. Puts them well ahead of where Durham were.
36 for 1 Durham were. So yeah, I think in a chase like this, the importance of only losing 1 in the power play can't be overemphasised. Jimmy Neesham's going to have another ball from the. He's going to continue from the New Road end, having picked up the wicket of Isaac with his last ball. The last ball of his first over, which went for 11, and he's bowling to Kashif. Slip in, short outside the off stump. Kashif takes on the challenge, back in the side after missing a couple of games, having split the webbing on his hand, dropping a catch at Trent Bridge.
He's still heavily strapped as well, isn't he? I think they've looked to rush him back.
Should have caught it.
Yeah, that's true.
No, I think I had a chat with him. He showed me the wound the other night, on Sunday actually, and the stitches, and said he was very much hoping to be back tonight. Good bowling from Newsham, that change of pace. Kashif can't do anything with it.
Well, he's having a good campaign, Frank. The dismissal of Isaac Mohammed, that was his 12th wicket. This is his 7th game in the campaign. Average of 16. Strike rate of 12. Good all-round cricket. He'll be disappointed with his effort with the bat this evening. But a canny bowler. Anyone selected to take part with the bat in a Super Over in a World Cup final obviously has a good mentality.
It's a beautiful shot from Kashif Ali, that. Bit fuller from Neesham, and Kashif leans into it, and it, dare I say, as the Worcestershire 50 comes up, that in terms of, in inverted commas, cricket shots, that's up there with anything we've seen tonight. There have been some other shots, white ball shots, shall we call them, but you know what I mean, don't you? That was lovely, wasn't it? Lovely to watch. Lovely to watch.
It's one for the purist. We're fans of technique, aren't we, Frank? That's the thing.
And that's one of those other shots. Top edge over the keeper's head for 4. Successive boundaries. Won't bother Worcestershire how they come. Dormston Cook's been in touch. He says, Robert Doverston, I would have loved you bowling at Isaac. That's a bit harsh, I think. Harry says, can I explain the dead ball in the first over? Yes, I can. He didn't play a shot, basically. If you don't play a shot, you can't score leg byes unless you're taking evasive action. He wasn't taking evasive action. In fact, he was trying to go at the ball, but he didn't play a shot, and therefore you can't take leg byes. It's a dead ball. So it was a correct call by the umpire, and that's it, Harry. Ooh,
that's going to be
4
4 more
for Kashif here. Just tickled round the corner, only just wide of Callum Parkinson at short fine leg. Callum Parkinson, I reckon, will probably bowl the next over. I think he generally comes on at the end of the power play. But that is 3 successive boundaries for Kashif. And Worcestershire, well, if this is not a wicket, are going to get to the end of the power play in a really nice position. They're 22 runs ahead of where Durham were at this point. And that is 4 more. So they're 26 runs ahead. Kashif's taken 4 consecutive boundaries, albeit with a couple of edges, 2 of them, and Worcestershire at the end of the power play are exceptionally well placed. Chasing 156 to win, 63 for 1. There is still work to be done, of course, but that was a very, very useful over. 16 runs came from it. Kashif Ali's off to a flyer. He's 16 off 6, and boring old Jake Libby is 12 off 15.
Well, we're actually going to see Nathan Souter, the leg spinner from
Got
Australia.
it wrong, not Callum Parkinson.
But just shows how important Kashif Ali is to this side. Ho's got 95 against Notts. Brett Dolliver had got his highest score in T20 Blast history with 79 against Yorkshire earlier in this season as well. But Kashif, when he's in the side, there's this swagger. There were a couple of edges with those flurry of 4s in the previous over. But with this other young lad into the side as well, there seems to be a real swagger in the top order of Worcestershire tonight. Something that's been missing for a little while. Well, since Kashif was last in the side, really, as Souter's in. Let's push that through. Cut away by Jake Libby. Think about 2. The heart never really was in it, so Ackerman does the fielding, just the 1.
If Mrs. Libby's listening, I don't mean it when I say boring old Jake Libby, just in case.
You've got currency in these parts, Frank. I think you're okay.
And he's going to play the anchor role, isn't he? And quite rightly. So it'll be interesting to see what Kashif does against the spinner.
Souter again.
Has a look
Watchful.
at that one. Yeah. Nothing wrong with that. Just taken 16 off 4 deliveries. No need.
Well, he's pushing these through. There's no loop and drift here for Nathan Souter. But his length is spot on here. And Kashif is, as you say, Frank, he's having a look. Your phone just beeped there, Frank. Is it going to be Mrs. Libby?
No, it's not. It's a former teammate of...
Swept away, straight to Ben Rain.
It's a former teammate of Jake Libby who says he is boring, though. But I won't say who it is.
Oh, the brute. What a brute. He's a lovely lad, Jake Libby, even if he does support Plymouth Argyle.
He can bore me for 2 days at the weekend against Surrey and get 200. That'll do nicely.
Looking to cut away here, Kashif.
Good over so far. 1 run from it.
Really
5
good
deliveries.
stuff.
Kashif under pressure off this last ball.
Well, he'll want a boundary here, won't he? And what's his shot? That's the question. And actually, it's a really good over from Nathan Souter, and that's a really important over from a Durham perspective. 16 from the previous. Jimmy Neesham
1 off the
getting
over.
whacked.
Superb, isn't it? If you'd have said 17 off the next 2, though, I think Worcestershire would have bitten your hand off, so it's fair enough.
Well, yes, in the context
in
of the
bigger
game,
picture.
in the context of the game, that Neesham over means that there's no pressure on, and there won't be for a little bit.
Ben Rain coming into the attack from the New Road end.
Yep.
So I haven't seen Callum Parkinson yet. Rain to Libby, keeper standing up. Through the covers for a single by Libby.
But when it's 7 and over, Frank, there are singles to be had in this phase, isn't there?
Yeah.
And Ben Rain,
absolutely.
I mean, he knows this game inside out. He's in his 144th T20 Blast game tonight. And he's bowling well this season as well. 14 wickets from his first 6 games. Strike rate of 9.6. Difficult bowler to go after, but of course, they don't need to.
I just had a look at that. You know that boundary that Isaac scored off Potts, and I couldn't decide because we have square on, I hasten to add, and I wasn't watching the monitor. I just had a look at the replay of it, and you know, I'm not sure I can decide even now. It is the most amazing shot. He goes inside it, and looks as though he's going to ramp it, and then he
Flicks it
deliberately plays. It was that is probably, I mean, I have to say, probably the most amazing shot I've seen from anybody for a while, let alone tonight.
It looked like it was slightly skewed off the edge, wasn't it? But you're right, it's a little flourish, little flick.
He walked across his stumps. He got in the wrong place, really, and Potts saw where he was and bowled it wide, and he still managed to manufacture something, even though it required a late change of mind. Extraordinary shot. Excuse us if you wonder what we're talking about. We're not talking about what's happened just now. We're talking about when Isaac hit Matty Potts for 4, last ball of the second over, I think it was.
Rain is into Libby. That's going to be a
It's
wide ball.
Good little spell for Durham, this. Just after that flurry of boundaries off Neesham, they've just pulled it back pretty nicely, I think. And Kashif, who got a flyer, absolute flyer, reined in a bit. Jake Libby just ticking along, just under a run of ball. Ooh, and he might have been struggling if that had been picked up cleanly by Lees at mid-off. He misfielded it, and they got through for a single that could have been tricky. Will Rhodes it is, beg your pardon, not Alex Lees at mid-off. Nicely worked by Kashif. As you say, Jim, they're not under huge pressure at the moment. The batters, as long as they keep things ticking over. Don't have too many overs that only go for 1, like Nathan Souter's first one. That one has gone for 5. So the comparison, 8 overs gone, Worcestershire 69 for 1, Durham were 50 for 2. And I'd say that just about reflects how we feel the balance of power lies at the moment.
Yeah. Well, unsurprisingly, Nathan Souter's going to get another go from the Diglis end. Fine start for him. Swept away. It's going to go over Ben Rain's head. He's got a chase on. It's kicked on off the surface. I think it's going to go all the way to the boundary. It is.
I think Libby's done the right thing there, in the sense that... Kashif's done the right thing in the sense that the longer an over goes on, if you haven't got a boundary, the more pressure you feel under. And that's what happened in the first over. Having got that boundary off the first ball, changes the dynamic a little bit. Good from Kashif. Goes to 22.
Absolutely right. Pressure on the bowler then. Might enforce a little drag down. That's again, he's bowling with real pace here, isn't he? Really pushing those through. Kashif, generally good player of spin. Fuller ball. It's a check drive. He might get away with this. He is going to get away with this.
Nicely played, I think.
Yep.
Almost as though he checked himself as he realised there were 2 fielders out there.
Yeah, it was a check drive, but it hung in the air. Will Rhodes underneath it. It dropped a good 5 metres short of him. Cut away.
Missed out there, didn't he?
Yeah. Either side of the fielder, and he's in business.
He would have seen that, and his eyes lit up, and I think he probably just didn't play it with the control that he wanted to.
We'll get a single this time. Neesham in. Good fielding, good throw, but good running as well. 6 off the first 5 balls. Brings Kashif back on strike. 75 for 1 the score. Kashif 23 not out. Another one of those overs where 6 from the overs, neat and tidy from a bowling perspective. And I think that's probably come off a bit of glove. They'll take a single. And it's come off the leg by there. It's going to be off the pad. So 7 from it. We'll call it a score draw.
Well, I think 7 decent at this stage. I think we are now going to see Callum Parkinson. And 76 for 1 represents a good first 9 overs. Remember, at the halfway stage, Durham were 65 for 3. I think you know what might settle it, Jim, is whether one of these two or one batter goes on. You know, 32 at the top from Isaac got them off to a great start. Somebody can get a 50 like Will Rhodes did. Just need a couple to play around him. The reason Durham didn't get to 175, 180 is because they only had one person who went past 30.
Well, you feel like Libby will want to be there, won't he? If Libby's there at the end, then the game will get won.
Well, if Libby's there at the end and they don't win, then I think, you know, there'll be serious words asked in the Libby household and every other household about what on earth is going on. If he's still there at the end and they haven't won, that will not happen. He takes another 1. 16 off 20, no problem. 17 off 21 now. Kashif goes for the big sweep, big slog sweep off Parkinson, but that one pushed through quite quickly by the left armour. Kashif just stretching the old hamstring. He's not wearing the orange boots tonight. That will disappoint you, Jim.
Yeah, I like a bit of fancy footwear, Frank.
Nicely bowled by Parkinson, that one much slower. Just stopped in the pitch a little bit, but he waited for it. You often don't appreciate, I think, how the changes of pace can be utilised by a spinner as well as by seamers. This one is quicker and flatter. He's good at it, Parkinson. And that's nicely played by Libby. He waited for it, and that's the perfect little chip onto the green. He's good goal for Jake Libby, probably the best on the Worcestershire staff. And that one, just a nice little wedge, and he picks up a single. End of the over. 4 off it, halfway stage, 80 for 1.
Well, it's not been the most scintillating passage of play in a 2020 context. 11 runs from the last 2 overs. And Durham, they'll be desperate for a breakthrough, but at least they've pulled back a little bit of control when it comes to economies.
Physio's out there having a word with Kashif now, who's got a problem. Not sure what it is. It looks like it might be a groin that he's just tweaked, I think. Or hamstring, maybe, I'm not sure. Maybe a bit of cramp. Andy Powell, the physio out there at the moment, just giving him a bit of treatment.
Well, it gives me an opportunity then to congratulate Luke Steins on receiving the Apprentice of the Year. In his fine endeavours and the ground staff here at New Road. It's not the easiest gig here, Frank, is it, when it comes to preparing pitches? I'm sure there aren't many people watching and listening who aren't aware of the fact that we're essentially on a floodplain here, and every year the ground is underwater. And the staff do an incredible job here, it must be said. But there we are.
Yeah,
part of the team here. Luke Steins,
yeah.
Apprentice of the Year. Well done you, sir.
Yeah, it is a tough job. And Steve Manfield, the head groundsman here, of course, did his sort of training. He was previously employed at Chelmsford, which I believe is the driest county ground in the country. So he's gone from one extreme to the other.
A change is as good as a rest, Frank.
He's had to cope with 13 floods in his first 2 years in the job, and that's 13 separate floods. So the fact that we've got any cricket here at all is pretty good. Even though I suspect when the Surrey seamers get going on Sunday or Monday and the ball starts nipping around all over the place, people will say it's not a good enough surface, but he's done the best he can. Kashif is on his feet again.
Speaking of flooding, here comes rain, and Kashif just plays it to the leg side. No, thank you very much.
You think, listeners, that we don't prepare? We spent days preparing that one.
We said, do it around about the 10 over mark. And I said, OK.
We'll talk about the floods.
Rain will come on. Job's a good one. In comes Ben Rain, looking for a little scoop here.
Oh, lovely.
And he's got a hold of that. It's going to race away to the boundary.
Wides. Didn't get anything on it. Lovely. When I said lovely, probably speaking a bit too soon. Didn't get anything.
No,
on
he
it,
didn't, did he?
Ollie Robinson not impressed. Ben Rain's not pleased with himself. 4 gimmies for Worcestershire. They're halfway there. They're over halfway there. 85 for 1. Just got to keep their heads now, you'd think.
Well, we mentioned this was an important game for Worcestershire. Back-to-back defeats for them. Back-to-back victories for Durham. Now he's going for the scoop again.
Not a wide. Libby looks around thinking it should be a wide. Umpire Sue Redfern says no, not this time. Well, you hear head coaches and captains and players talking about the dynamic nature of T20, and if you take that into the sort of league table context, then you know a couple of results can change things very quickly. 2 defeats, 2 wins. But we were talking at Leicester on Sunday when Worcestershire lost to Kadir Ali, and he said exactly that, didn't he? If we can win the next 2, then things will change. Well, if they can get this one, they go to Edgbaston. It's always a massive one for the Pears and the Bears. Edgbaston Friday night under the lights, great atmosphere. Already mentioned it, what it'll mean to Isaac Mohammed. But if they win this one, that becomes really, really important.
Rain to Kashif. And Kashif leaves that one alone.
Oh, she's called
and now we are going to get a wide for it.
Called it wide in the end.
It might be the latest wide call I've ever experienced. Yes, I was going to say that's. I was trying to figure out what had happened there because that ballooned out of his hand.
It wasn't a late decision. It was just a late call because it's the widest wide of since wides were invented. I think. That's not
wrapped
wide.
on the pads and given. So Kashif has to go.
Wide. He's bowled 2 wides, and now got a straight one.
Well, veering in, I think that's leg side-ish, I think, Frank. I think that's leg side-ish. So the ball before ballooned out the hand. It looked like it might have been a knuckle ball and lost control. And the next delivery darted in by Ben Rain. But I think Kashif can feel a little bit harshly done by here. It looked to my money like it was sliding down leg side. But no matter, Kashif has to go, and he gets warm applause from the Rapids faithful. Things feel a little bit different with Kashif back in the side. I mentioned that swagger that he brings to proceedings, as well as his clean hitting, of course, but it does mean standing captain Adam Hose makes his way out to the middle. 87 for 2, 69 to win. In comes Rain again. Despite the wides, Good over this from a Durham perspective. They have managed just to keep things tight over the past 3 or 4 overs or so. Drag themselves back in the game. And it's another dot ball to finish out the over. But the most important thing from a Durham perspective, they've got the wicket of Kashif. And they're going to need wickets if they're going to drag themselves back into contention here.
Yeah, 7 off the over. Funny old over from Ben Rain. He was mixing it up, bowled a couple of wides on both sides of the wicket, and then got the wicket. May have been a bit fortunate, but who are we to say? Sue Redfern had a look at it and decided it was going on to hit the stumps. Kashif on his way. Libby's still there. Parkinson to continue. Cut away. Going to come back for 2 this time. Jake Libby has to hurry, but he does get in. Sue Redfern this time keeps her hands down. There's a slightly loopy throw that came in, and it was tight. And just in, but it was close, you know. They fancied it, the Durham fielders, I think. Libby goes to 21. Parkinson bowls, and Libby is out. He's just chipped it to short extra cover. And just when we were perhaps starting to anticipate a Rapids victory, what has happened is exactly what we were talking about earlier in the day, Jim, which is the way you disrupt a relatively straightforward run chase is to get 2 new batsmen in at the same time. That's what's happened. Libby, who would have wanted to anchor it, has gone for 21 of 28 deliveries. A little bit like we saw from Alex Lees earlier today. And with 2 new men at the crease, Durham will sense that if they are going to pull this off, it's got to be the next 3 or 4 overs that prove crucial, I think. But they've struck back, well done, got back into it. Callum Parkinson's bowled well, he's varied his pace well, he's picked up his wicket. And Worcestershire at 89 for 3.
Well, it's fitting really that Libby plays a similar innings to Alex Lees. That was my comparison at the start of proceedings. Yeah. Similar average, similar strike rate. Similar outcomes for both players. Who will come out on top by the end of this one, though? Callum Parkinson. Just a quietly effective cricketer. Been good at this level for some time.
Gosh. Good bit of fielding. Good job he was quick. Brooks went for the sweep, got a glove on it, I think. Set off for the run, dived in, and the throw came in, hit the stumps. Good work. But the single taken. Brooks is off the mark.
And again, Frank, it's a quiet hush across Visit Worcestershire New Road. Such an important game for the home side and their hopes for this season. 90 for 3 the score. Durham going well here. Had a good little spell with the ball, keeping it tight. Putting pressure back on the home side, who haven't won for a little while.
Hose off the mark, so both the 2 new men off the mark. Just need an over or 2 of 5s will do for Worcestershire, I think, just to restore a bit of stability. Still ahead on the comparison. As Brooks tries a reverse. 91 for 3 in the 12th. 1 ball left. At the end of 12, Durham won 90 for 4. So there's not much in it at all. Brooks pushes this one out on the onside. They take 1. They won't come back for 2. Good fielding from Rhodes coming in off the boundary. End of the over then. 92 for 3 off 12. Durham won 90 for 4. They just had that really big over when they got 18. So it's not a massive difference. The 1 wicket might be the most crucial part of it. And 5 runs came from that over.
Well, for the first time since the first over, actually, the required rate is higher than the run rate going.
And therefore, a good bowling change, in my opinion.
Yeah, Souter back into the attack from the Diglis. good foot down the wicket and a strong sweep. That's going to go for 4. Really good shot.
I doubt. Well, I mean, they do their research. Obviously, they'll know that Ethan Brooks is sweeper extraordinaire on both sides of the wicket. But whether Souter's ever bowled to him before, I doubt actually. So interesting first shot fired by Brooks.
Looking for more of the same. It's not quite as full a length as it. Shot isn't
well
quite
bowled,
there.
well
Yeah.
bowled. Change of pace again.
Looking for the reverse this time. And
he is so good at that, isn't he?
Callum Parkinson drops on the ball.
Good fielding.
Yeah.
5 off the first 3 though. Hose, I think, will have played against Souter before. I would suspect in some far-flung corner of the globe.
Well, he's featured in the Blast Plenty, has Souter.
And in the Big Bash, probably.
Oh yeah, Hose has played Big Bash, hasn't
and
he?
And Souter as well, I think.
Yeah.
Drives him down the ground for 1.
Yeah, he spent, well, I think 6 years at Middlesex before he joined Durham. So they'll have met
Middlesex don't play Worcestershire very often though in T20. Brooks tries. Did he get anything on this one? Parkinson again sliding to do the work. Did get something on it, Ethan Brooks. So he's played cross-batted shots to every ball he's faced from Souter. Those has looked to go down the ground one way and another. They've got 7 off the first 5.
Short of this time,
Oh,
good
well
bit of fielding.
That's
Alex Lees, good job.
good
He's
work,
done that.
isn't it? But 7 off the over, that's all right from a Worcestershire point of view at this stage.
So our boy Souter, 100. This is match 117 in the Vitality Blast, and this is his 4th year up at Durham.
Parkinson to carry on. Get in touch, Durham fans. Tell us how you think it's going. You're right back in it, I reckon. In my book, another couple of wickets would be right back in it. And have you got one here? No, chipped in the air by Brooks. Lands safely. Gets a single.
Brings the 100 up as well.
But yeah, get in touch. Tell us what you think on X, Twitter at FrankWatson58 or at James F for Freddie, D-A-L-E Dale, at James F Dale, at FrankWatson58. Nip and tuck, I reckon it's tight. Hose just nudges this one for 1. Bowled well, Parkinson, really well, I think. He's 3rd over, only gone for 11 so far. He's landed everything and he's varied his pace quite cleverly, I think. Takes on the Brooks sweep. Appeals. Doesn't get any response from umpire Illingworth, who signals leg by. Hit Brooks outside the off stump. On the thigh. Hose on strike. Banged away on the offside for a single down to long off.
Well, Rob Davison's been back on. He says he's watching the rest of this one from behind the sofa.
He should be watching Callum Parkinson bowling, actually.
Well,
although he tells me he doesn't bowl left arm spin anymore. Sad loss to the spinning ranks.
Big shout and hope rather than judgment. And I'm also going to give a mention to someone who's in the crowd today. Coombs Wood, overseas player, who's got the coolest name in the Worcestershire County League. Kimani Sexius is here. West Indies, from St Lucia, I believe.
Oh, that's big. It's in the box.
It's coming our way. Goodness me, it's bounced over us. There's plenty on that. Jimmy Neesham looks on confused. It's on our roof, gang. I wasn't worried, Frank. Were you worried?
No, I wasn't worried.
Well, initially I wasn't sure whether he got enough of it, but he got plenty.
That's a great.
It's the
way
first time we've
to
been in
finish the
danger.
over.
And you're right, Frank. Much needed impetus, and it's landed on our commentary box. Jimmy Neesham reckons he can reach it. A young lad's offered to go up and get it. It's like a modern-day chimney sweep. We're going to get ourselves a young lad. This is against health and safety protocol, young man. But there we go, to relieve the pressure. A mighty 6. And a welcome one.
10 off the over. Worcestershire need 47 to win. And they have 6 overs to get them. And that should be straightforward. But I think those up in the northeast who are watching, listening, might be thinking we were talking nonsense when we said that it was only just below par, that 155 target. But we knew what we were talking about, I would suggest. Having watched the T20 cricket era over the last 2 or 3 years, it's not the easiest pitch to come in and strike it on. We haven't seen a huge number of 6s. That's only the 4th 6 of the Worcestershire innings, and 3 of those were hit very early on by Isaac Mohammed. And even though you've got the likes of Dorsus and Waite, who are quite big hitters, to come, it's by no means easy to go out there and start striking it.
Here's Ben Rain in again. Huge appeal. Redfern unmoved. Goodness me, they were keen on that, Frank, weren't they?
Well, Alex Lees was at extra cover. I'm not sure about.
Ben Rain was going big.
Alex Lees was keener than the bowler, though. I thought he really did start dancing. I think that's because they know Hose is a big wicket. I really do. But umpire Redfern, not on this occasion to be moved. Puts a bit of doubt in the batter's mind, though, doesn't it?
Dabbed into the offside for a single. Ackerman charging in from the boundary rope.
They got a leg by, incidentally, off that one, so Brooks getting a single. Hose back on strike. 2 off the over so far. Nelson on the board. 45 required.
Well, you mentioned
It's going to get
Dorsus.
tense, you know.
Mentioned Dorsus, you mentioned Matt Waite. They've got their pads on, ready to go.
Yeah.
Waite looking stony-faced. In comes Rain again. Into the offside. Ackerman again in the action. Again, just a single.
Good shot for 1. They need more than 6. They need a boundary each over, really, ideally. But with 7 wickets in hand, they ought to be able to manage it.
Well,
but you don't have to go looking for it. Just wait until the bad one comes along.
In comes Rain again. For this time into the leg side, they might think about 2, and they're going to go for 2. It's a good slide and pick up, but they'll get home comfortably.
You know, there was one in the Durham innings just like that where they said straight away, as soon as he hit it, 2 there. Good cricket. If you both go hard, as soon as you hit it, if the fielder's got more than 15, 20 yards to go, every chance you're going to get home. No hesitation.
Oh, it's a play and a miss. Robinson can't keep it. There's a chance to get 2 here again in the end of the side against it. Have a single.
Looking for the sweep almost all the time, Brooks. Nothing wrong with that, though. He's good at it.
6 off the first 5 balls. Hose on strike. He'll be wanting a boundary here just to relieve the pressure, the tension here. And what is a glorious summer's evening at Visit Worcestershire New Road. Drills it down the ground.
Going to get 2, I think.
He might get more than 2.
He's going to get
more than 2. It's a poor piece of fielding.
Good shot, really.
But
it
is a pretty shot, isn't it? You feel there it should have been cut off, but Hose won't matter one bit. Standing skipper gets the boundary. And it turns a solid over into a good one, 10 from it.
Bit of fortune about that again, you know, Jim, because Ben Rain deflected it wide of the fielder, didn't he, at long off. Otherwise, I think it would have been just 2 at most, really, but he deflected it and made the field have to run further. Marvin's been in touch. He said, we've got a cracker here. It's going to go down to the last ball. Well,
I hope for my heart rate and
right.
Frank's it doesn't, but what a cracking ending that would be to what has been a tight contest. We've seen some really good cricket. We've seen some slightly fortuitous cricket. We've seen the start of a very, very promising career for young Ishaq Mohammed. And we've seen some real skill with the ball as well from this Durham outfit. And how important was that knock from Will Rhodes to make this a contest?
Matty Potts. Brooks tries to flick it round the corner, just leg by.
Well, this is only Potts' second over. He can bowl through now if he wants to. Only his third game of the campaign. None for 29 against Northants. Game before,
First over went for 19, though.
So it was an interesting over, wasn't it?
Extraordinary.
Seems a lifetime ago now. Astonishing stuff.
Hook from Hose straight to Ackerman, though, on the boundary. Played it well. Dots are gold dust from a Durham point of view now. One boundary and over from Worcestershire point of view. An absolute must. And that'll be it in this over. It's gone all the way. Ethan Brooks again, clearing the leg side, pressure off in the over. What an acquisition this boy has been. Another one that made the trip from Edgbaston, coming to New Road on the strength of greater opportunity, and he's made himself in pretty quick time into an integral member of the side in both red and white ball cricket. And it really looks like a promising career. Signed a new contract this week. And he's repeated the dose. 6 more from Ethan Brooks. Superb from the young man.
It's over. The hospitality tent. Take cover. Mind your beers.
Brooks is 31 off 17 deliveries. Matty Potts is none for 32 and he's only bowled 10 deliveries.
Well, this just feels so much more controlled, doesn't it, Frank, from what we've seen in recent matches from the Rapids. And I don't think it's a coincidence, actually, knowing what to chase, knowing what's required, knowing when to go and when to...
Somebody said to me before the game in the press box, would you bat first or second? And from a Worcestershire point of view, I hasten to add, and I said I'd bat second, because they've had difficulty in kind of setting totals, really, setting targets. It's much easier if you know what you've got to get. And they knew, I think, that this was a below par score. Just 23 now needed. They haven't got the ball back yet. We're waiting. Sweet Caroline playing, trying to get the crowd going. If they're not got going by Ethan Brooks' last 2 shots, then there's something badly wrong. Really good effort. I wonder if in these 2 deliveries the game's gone from a Durham point of view. We talked about how quickly things can change, and that's probably the best example of it you could possibly get. It can change with a couple of wickets, but it can certainly change with a couple of maximums. Really good from Brooks. We're still waiting for the ball to come back. I don't know why we're waiting so long. We haven't got a spare. They've got a spare now. Rob Derviston says we look better chasing as it moderates the rather uncontrolled hitting. I paraphrased a little bit there, but yeah, I agree. I think that's definitely right. But still got to do it.
Well, look, it's 23 from 26. From here on in, singles get you home. Yeah. And it's going to be very tricky to stop that now.
They're going to try and do it with time to spare, I think, aren't they?
Yeah.
And it's been a good performance, you know. It's been a really, really good performance so far. We've got a ball, we've got a bowler. And we've got a wicket, I think. No,
3 more.
6. I said we got a wicket, but it's just gone over Ackerman's head on the boundary. 3 consecutive sixes from Ethan Brooks. He's moved to 37 off 18. And that has surely, this little spell, this little 5-minute spell has surely won the game for the pairs.
Someone get a masseuse for Ackerman. His neck must be in all kinds of bother. He's seen the ball balloon over his head 3 times in a row.
Full from Potts this time, driven down the ground by Brooks. They've taken one, they'll settle for one. That is the end of the over, 140 for 3, 21 runs coming from that over. And Matty Potts has figures of 2 overs, no maidens, no wicket for 39.
Well, I didn't see that coming this evening, Frank, I have to say. But I mentioned swagger at the start. There's swagger at the finish as well. Goodness me, 3 sixes in a row.
Worcestershire lead 16 to win of 4 overs.
Well, Ben Rain's going to continue from the Diglas end. Deep in his crease. Drilled down the ground. What a beautiful shot that is. 4 more. Brooks is in the mood.
Well, who's your man of the match? I mean, it's tricky, isn't it? With Isaac Mohammed playing so well at the start, but Ethan Brooks, 4 overs, 1 for 32. And this has just been sensational.
Well, Ethan Brooks has made sure the game's won for me. This is a match-winning innings for a side that haven't won a lot this season. Only 2 wins in the Blast before this evening. Not this one's done, of course, but final throws, you feel. And the boundary hitting comes to an end for just a moment. A single. But it was an important game this evening, Frank. Important for the home fans to have something to cheer about.
Yeah.
And they've had plenty this evening. And as you mentioned, 2 youngsters who've made their way down the M5 from Birmingham to Worcester. And you will get opportunities at Visit Worcester New Road. Talented young cricketers on their way in their career. In comes Rain again. Hose, he's drilled that down the ground, straight to the fielder. So there'll be just a single. Very handsome shot for just 1. Blue skies above our heads. Brooks back on strike. In comes Rain. Crunch down the ground. Is that going to beat the 2 in the deep? It is. It's 4 more. This is an absolute clinic from Ethan Brooks. Required runs into single figures. He's a single blow away from a 50. It's the 150 up for the Worcester Rapids. And after a disappointing Sunday afternoon in Leicester, well, what a tonic this is. Looking to end, well, he's going to find his 50 with 1 blow. It's another 4. It means that Brooks goes on to 51. And what a fabulous knock that is. We've seen sweeps, we've seen 1s and 2s, we've seen some lusty blows over square leg. And some beautiful straight hitting. 51 from 23 balls, just 2 runs to win. 1 ball left of the 17th over. And he's absolutely crunched that. Is he going to be out? He is. He's not going to see it through for his side. He's done everything, but you can see the disappointment for Ethan Brooks. But what a fantastic knock that's been for the Rapids. He's seen his side home here. And just listen to those applause. They needed a win. He'll send Ben Dwarshus on his way out to the middle. I'd say him and Hose finished the job. And the applause as he makes his way back to the dugout from the Rapids faithful. Every single bit of the adulation deserved. We've still got the small matter of 2 runs to take care of. And you feel from a Durham perspective, batters got starts, didn't go on. Will Rhodes worked hard to make this a contest, but Rapids have responded well. And they think about going for the second. In the end, just take a single. It's Folkes doing the bowling from the new road end, actually. He's been really impressive tonight, Frank, hasn't he, the young Kiwi fast bowler?
Yeah, really good performance. Probably be forgotten, won't it? But played well. Quite a few of the batters played well. We just didn't have anybody that... I mean, Rhodes 58, but nobody really played the knock that Brooks has played, or that Isaac played. Worcester have just had a good power play, and they've built on it sensibly. And it has, although we've had that big hit in for Brooks, it's not had the feel of that kind of uncontrolled, kind of manic batting that we've seen in a couple of the games from Worcestershire in the defeats.
Felt like he earned the right to do it, you know?
Yeah.
And we might end this with a wide, and it is going to be a wide, and that's going to conclude proceedings on what has been a very comfortable win for Worcestershire in the end. Against a very good Durham side, it has to be said. Their big players, you feel, didn't quite turn up when they needed them to here at Visit Worcestershire New Road. So their winning run comes to an end. Worcestershire's losing run comes to an end. And it means they can head to Edgbaston on Friday with real confidence. It's been an excellent performance, it has to be said. Lots of contributions with the ball, lots with the bat as well. There'll be special praise, I'm sure, for young Isaac Mohammed for what was possibly the most entertaining 30-odd you'll see at this ground all year. Ethan Brooks continues to show his class. And most importantly, though, it's another win for the Worcester Rapids. It keeps their hopes of a quarter-final berth alive. And the Rapids fans can head out into the glorious summer evening sun, having seen a really good performance from their side.
Yeah, so just to finish off the bowling figures for you for Durham. Matty Potts, 2 overs, no maidens, no wicket for 39. The only one who bowled is 4 overs. Ben Rain, 4 overs, no maidens, 2 for 35. Callum Parkinson, 3 overs, no maidens, 1 for 18, bowled really well. Jimmy Neesham, 2 overs, no maidens, 1 for 27. Nathan Souters, superb, 3 overs, no maidens, 1 for 20. Sorry, no wicket for 14. Nathan Souter, 3 overs, no maidens, no wicket for 14. And Zach Fowkes, 3.1 overs, no maidens, no wicket for 18. Worcestershire, the winners by 6 wickets. Probably their best performance of the season, I would say. Probably even better than when they won at Trent Bridge. They needed it because, as Jim said, they were on a bit of a losing run. Back on the winning trail. If they can add to that at Edgbaston on Friday night, then they will be well and truly back in the mix. A superb win for them. I hope you've enjoyed our coverage. It's been great. Durham perhaps 15-20 short, Jim, which is what we thought, given our local knowledge, and Worcestershire the winners.
Well, that will conclude our coverage for the live stream for a little while. Back in action, of course, at Edgbaston, but we're on to the return of the county championship when we host Surrey here in a little while.
And that will be covered on the live stream.
Well, yes,
with,
yeah, that's very true.
Of course, but the BBC commentary, and I'll be doing that one on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Well, there you are. You see, you can look. Who doesn't want more of Frank Watson in their life? And you can get that in the Red Bull stuff. But for now, from myself, Jim Dale, from Frank Watson, thank you for spending the time with us, and we'll see you again on the Worcestershire Rapids live stream.
sweep that again from Roderick. Can you pick the gap between Lewis Gregory at first slip and Josh Davies at a backward point and right between them? That's raceway. Twice he played that shot.
Some things are built over time, not just in moments, but in choices. It's how we live, day in and day out, and the way we show up for each other. Trust in those who dedicate themselves to others. Inclusiveness in those who bring people together to make a difference.
Once upon a time, I went on a magical adventure where I travelled through time, explored great buildings, and made lots of new friends. There are forests, rivers, and ice cream. My story was one of excitement and wonder. And what happens next? Well, that's your chapter. Make Worcestershire part of your story.